It's recording now, and this is October 23rd, the day after Twyla and my 56th wedding anniversary. And Twyla passed away yesterday. And we had some friends come over to the house after that, just a few. And we're going to have a memorial on December 11th. It's a Sunday afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, Sunday, December 11th. So I hope you mark that down. That'll be mostly talking, pictures, videos, whatever, and sharing friendship. And then we're going to possibly do a concert for Twyla next year on her birthday on May 21st with our musician friends in the music world that all want to be part of this. So here's a here's a video night. And so I guess where should I put this? Okay, I could say that Twyla and I have been hosting movie nights since we first met each other when we were on Wayne State University, and we got married in '66, and we were living on Wayne State campus, and we were already showing movies to friends. They would come over, and we loved talking about it, and it got into a regular thing. In all our lives we did this. One form or another, we had filmed that. We'd have Oscar party nights whenever there was an Oscar party, and a lot of you, especially old-time friends, used to come to our Oscar parties wherever we lived, in Southfield or even on the LaSure in West Side Detroit, Northwest, and then we moved to Southfield, then we moved to Royal Oak, and then we moved to Hamtramck, and we would have Oscar parties every year and movies once a week or once every other week, and friends would come to the house or wherever we were showing them, and we'd have a potluck and show movies, and it was a wonderful community thing. And we just stopped that, of course, here at Hamtramck when COVID came in. We couldn't meet anymore in our house. And then we started doing the movies on Zoom. And when we started that, we met some new friends who don't live in town here. And like Laura, for example, lives out in Oakland, California. And so we're going to eventually get back to showing movies at our house again. I'm getting back to it. I keep saying we. I can't change that. Twyla and I will be showing movies in our basement in our theater someday soon. So, as you well know, Twyla and I were about as close together as anybody could be. So, it's like Bill and Twyla. I don't think that can ever change. I don't know. So, tonight we're going to celebrate Twyla because she never got the recognition she should have got. I always got if there was any recognition, it was always me because I'm the musician and I'm out in the public and all that. And she was more shy about being out there, but she was with me on everything. She helped me do everything. And we work together. So a lot of the stuff you see is because of her. Even though my name might be on it or I'm playing or whatever, she's the one who helped me pick the songs. She's the one who said, you got to use this musician, you got to use that kind of stuff. Everything. We work together on everything. And so I'm going to show you this little video, and then we're going to go around and say hi to everybody. Okay, this is a video I made. I put up on YouTube quite a while ago. Well, it would have been 10 years ago because it was our 45th wedding anniversary. And we were living in Hamtramck, and we decided to make a little video. We decided to travel around all the houses that we lived in since we knew each other. And took our grandsons with us, Scotty and Tristan. And they were little kids then. And we took pictures. There's a couple little movies, and it's about 4 minutes long, I think. And it's the soundtrack to one of my favorite songs, You Got a Friend. Because I always put friends above anything else because, we're not religious people ourselves, Twyla and I, so we never could count on church or anything like that to help keep us together. We live for friends and family. And our families, as you might know, is thinning out here. The ones are dying off, but I have 2 daughters, and Twyla has a brother and another brother. She has 2 brothers. And then we got all your friends. So we're going to let y'all say something in a minute. Here's the little short video of us going around to our different places now.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yeah, babe, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, now all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend. If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow,
I like this house better than the one you live in now.
Oh yeah.
Why'd you move?
The girl next door had a horse.
I'll be knocking upon your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, yeah. All you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? People can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you. Well, they'll take your soul if you let them. Oh yeah, but don't you let them.
So that's a brief survey of the homes that we lived in as after we met each other. We met in Bay City in 1965, the summer of 65, when I went up north to paint my dad's house. He had a house up there. Yeah, my dad was a steward, worked on a steamship. He was never home, so I didn't grow up with a dad. He was always on the boats. But he had a house up in Bay City, and so one summer when I was 21, I went up and painted my dad's house and went to a bookstore to buy a downbeat jazz magazine, which was impossible to find in Bay City because it just was not a hip city at all in those days. But someone said, go to Bell Book and Candle. That's the only place. If anybody has it, they'll have it. So I was on the main street of Bay City. I went there, and there was Twyla. And she knew all about it. She worked at the bookstore, and she found me the magazine and bought it from her. And then I guess I bought the rest of my life from her too. She had a boyfriend at the time, and even though we really hit it off with each other, we really liked each other. To be honest, it's probably the first girlfriend I had that was serious. But then we had to break up because her boyfriend was coming back in town, and she thought it was really, it was like crushing. I didn't think I could go on. That was back when I was 21. I had already suffered a major loss with my mother when I was 15, and my mother lived at home alone with me. So that was my rock and stable base for life, and my dad wasn't around, so when she passed away, I was really lost. And just 6 years later, I met Twyla and started bringing my life back. Then we got married and had 2 kids, and I was on my way to extraordinary life for the next 56 years. So I'm excited. My grandson just arrived in the house here and with his girlfriend. So Scotty's here and Amanda's here. Let's show them just so they know who we are.
Hi guys.
Hello.
That's Scotty and Amanda. Now I know I have all your mics muted, so that's all right. We're going to go around and as we talk, I'll unmute you all. And Scott and Robbie put a picture up there. What's that picture, Rob? Oh yeah, that's that wedding day. Well, I got some pictures of that. I'll show you them too. That's cool. So that's the story of how I met Twyla, and I'm going to show you lots of pictures as we go through here, and we're going to, as I showed you the outline, and we'll end with a couple movies at the end, short movies. So now we're going to go around the room and say hi to everybody because you are here because you're friends of Twyla and the very, very important dear friends. And like I said, we're going to have a memorial in December on the 11th where we can hopefully get everybody that wasn't able to visit her in the hospital or come over yesterday. It was a very small group that came over. 4 people were in the room when Twyla was taken off the ventilator. That was friend Pat, Neil, Kay Aquilina, and Sharon Feldman, and my grandson Scotty and his girlfriend Amanda. All right, so anyways, let's go across the room according to the way I see people on my screen. You all see people differently, I'm sure. Everyone's screen's different, so I'll get through everybody, but it's going to go through my list. And we're going to start with Violet. In my list here, Violet, on my screen, Violet is the first name. I'm going to change your names on the screen so it's correct. This is Violet Brooks, a singer and a good friend of Twyla's. I'm going to unmute you, Violet, just if you can say hi so I know your mic's working. Violet, just say hi so I know your mic's working.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, that works. Okay, next is Robbie, who's Twyla's brother. He's down in Arcadia, Florida. Say something, Rob.
I'm in Arcadia, Florida, and I'm still here.
Okay, good. I'm just checking the mics as we go here. Okay, thanks. Okay, and then we got our friends Russ and Angeline Belant. Go ahead, Russ and Angela.
Hi. Good evening to all. I'm glad. I'm very humbled to be with you, Bill, and your friends in this time. And I wish you the best always, brother.
Thank you for being here. And we, obviously we know we have friends here from all different walks of life. I mean, our musical life, our political life, our whatever else part of life. And since you're all our friends, you should all be friends with each other. So that's why I'm get a chance to meet each other. So here we go. Next is our dear friend Kay, who was at the hospital yesterday. Hi, Kay. Test your mic. Okay, it's not working.
Hi, everybody.
There it is.
Oh, that's why, because it's your volume's too high. Yeah, your mic's hot, and I want to hear you talk.
I'm not muted.
Yeah, you're gonna have to mute it because your mic is real hot. And
Can you hear me now?
yeah, there's a volume switch in your settings where you can turn the microphone volume down. I think that's the problem with your mic. If you know how to get to audio settings and turn the volume down, that would work. Okay, next is Ann Hubbard over here. Ann is part of our friend David Reinstein. Is David with you, Ann?
Here, I'll wave so you can see me. We're kind of far back.
Oh, you got the what do you call that? Blur out the back picture thing going on. So you blurred out David.
Oh, yeah, and we're in the back.
I can't see David. Okay. Hi, David and Ann, a longtime friends. David's in the place where we play together many times. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next is our can't qualify everybody. I could go on for hours about each one of you, so I'm just gonna have to do real brief. David Tollington, our our friend I met at Burt's, and he lives in Toronto, and very good friend. Hi, David.
Hey, Bill. Hi, Heather, Scott, and everybody.
So nice having you with us. Thank you, Dave. And then, yeah, so we went to New Orleans many times and met people down there, friends, and Alice has remained our friend from New Orleans for a long time. She's down there. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Ben. I'm really very honored to be with you and the family and all the friends and be part of this beautiful support, kind of really an endeavor. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Alice is our Palestinian friend in New Orleans, and she's attended many of our movies, many, very, very consistently, our political movies and all other ones. Thank you, Alice, for being so supportive of us up here. Appreciate it. And then Jan Scallon, our friend from East Side. Hi, Jan.
Hi. I'm here due to Carol Bandura, and I've enjoyed and been enlightened by so many movies from Bill.
Thank you, Jan, for being here. Then, of course, this is one half of David and Katie. Also, it's sort of like Twyla, Bill and Twyla. This is Dave and Katie. Here's Katie. Hi, Katie. Test your mic. Test your mic.
We're in 2 rooms.
Okay, you're in 2 rooms. So David, and where is David's picture here? Where am I hearing you from? Katie, could you say something?
We are in New York.
Oh, right, you're in New York right now. So,
Hi, Bill.
But your mic's working. I just want to make sure we can hear you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
And we're in different rooms, so we could see better.
Okay, great. And I know right where you're at in your apartment in New York that you've let us stay at. That's one of the most beautiful spots in New York. And these are lovely people who are, well, I can't tell everything about everybody. You'll all find out eventually. Thank you, Katie. I'm going to move on to Laura X. Laura X is next on my screen, and she's a new friend from Oakland, California, and a film lover and an activist all our life. And Twyla and I both gotten to love Laura. Hi, Laura.
Well, thank you. I didn't know Twyla loved me. I certainly loved her and both of you. My goodness. I can't, unfortunately, see anybody. I'm having technical problems, but I can hear you, and that's the good news. And I'm moving now to my 3rd computer to see if I can see it. But yes, I'm from St. Louis, which is where I am at the moment, and that informs a great deal about me. But that's for another day. So I'm just saying that's the short course. And then I've lived in Berkeley for 60 years, California.
Thank you for being here. Then here's Sharon, who's a longtime friend, and I met Sharon in the New Jewish Agenda, and then through other progressive activist stuff. Sharon's a dear friend of ours, and she was with Twyla yesterday. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Bill. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see everyone, and sending love to you all.
Thank you, Sharon. And here's Sherry Wells, another activist friend, runs on the Green Party ticket, runs for office quite often. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Bill. I'm honored to be a rather recent progressive cinema watcher and have been honored for that. Honored to be at Twyla's birthday. I've been learning so much more about her in the past few months as I join in some of the things that she'd been in.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. Okay, and then, there's David. Okay, so we do have David here. David, is your mic working, David?
Yeah, my mic's working, but I've got COVID laryngitis, so I don't know if you can hear me. But I'm really honored to be here and thinking about Twyla and the song that you directed from Forgotten, We Remember You. I think that's so appropriate.
Yes, you're right. And my grandson Scotty's with me in the room here. I'll just show him again. So there's Scotty, and he was in the play, the musical Forgotten.
He was
the little newsboy in that scene. Yeah, Scotty. Okay, thanks for being here, Dave. Here's Mary Lamphere, another longtime friend and great film buff. Hi, Mary.
Hello. I think
How are
this
you
is a real testament to how you and Twy bring people together,
doing?
and she will be very missed.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Okay, then we'll go to Shirley Chalmers. Hi, Shirley.
Hi,
I know
Bill.
you've been out of town. She went to Ireland. She just got back from Ireland.
I did. I had a wonderful time for 10 days and came back to hear of this, which is very sad. Can you hear me okay? Is my mic working?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Great. Thank you for letting me be here tonight to share this with you and your friends.
By all means, thank you for being here. Now, Crystal Thurman is another one of our film buffs who used to come to our house for movies all the time, and we haven't been able to see each other as much because of COVID. And we're hoping to return. We're hoping to return to movies in the house soon. And Crystal was one of our regulars and dear friend. Thank you for being here, Crystal.
Yes, thank you for always keeping me in the loop. And I'm so glad that I went to Twyla's birthday celebration in May. That was a lot of fun. So thank you. And I'm happy to see so many people. I think seeing so many people speaks volumes about the character of Twyla and the love that people have for Twyla and you as well. So thank you for letting me do this.
Thank you for being here, Crystal. Okay, and now here's Franny Goldstein, who probably was one of Twyla's longest friends, and she just moved recently to California. And hi, Franny, we love you and so glad you could be here. Oh, your mic's not working, though. Your mic's not on. Miguel's next on my list. Hi, Miguel. Is your mom with you, Shirley?
Yes, she is.
I'm here.
Oh, beautiful. They came to the house yesterday, and we had a wonderful time with them. Thank you for being here, Miguel, Shirley.
Well, we're so glad, and we're so glad to be part of your esteemed circle of friends, and just delighted to have had an opportunity to fellowship with Twyla and have some of the conversations we had left those conversations enlightened in ways I hadn't anticipated when we started talking.
Yes, and this is an esteemed collection of friends, for sure. People who can put up with us, people who don't get upset with some things we say or believe or feel or whatever. They still like us and love us, and we're still friends. So that's who's here, and people that we love too. We love you all, and thank you for being here.
And I'm happy to be here, and I'll always be friends with you and all of the other friends that I've met through. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of people.
Thank you so much, Shirley. Okay, we're going to move on to Gail and Tim. Hi, Tim.
Yep, Tim's here. Hi.
I've known Twyla through Women in Black, marching in Women in Black, and of course, we had a chance to go to World Social Forum and meet up with you all there in Montreal. And I often joined the film group, and we've heard you play so many benefits for groups that we care about, and so glad that we can be here with you and all your friends at this time. We miss Twyla. We're glad to be here.
Thank you so much. It reminds me, I want to say that, of course, you know, I have at least 50,000 photographs and probably thousands of videos. I'm not going to show them all tonight. It was very tough to select, and I think some of you are going to be in some of these pictures, but we have so many and that I didn't have time. Right up to the last minute here, I was putting this together, and it's very hard to do. Maybe by the time of December 11th, I might have a better program together, and you'll be able to see a video that makes sense, but just want to let you know that. So I had to narrow it down to the ones I could find quickly and all that. So I'm moving on to Frank and Karen Hammond now. They were at our house yesterday, and they're longtime friends of ours too. Hi, Frank. Hi, Karen. There you go.
Hi, Bill. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Yes. And I finished eating your cheese, cream cheese, and with the shrimp. What was that? Crab meat?
Crab meat, yes.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you. Yes.
Good. We met you and Twy when you were doing fundraising and also drumming up support for Mary Ann Mahaffey.
Oh, wow, that was a long time ago. Yes, wow. Frank and Karen, in the political world, as some of you know, is very wide, very rangy, very split, and unfortunately, and in many different areas, and it's tough. The left is in crisis, and as is our country, is the world right now. But I mean, Frank and Karen are a couple of our stalwart political friends who we continue hanging on close to because we can overcome any differences we might have, and I appreciate that. Steve Walker is another friend of mine. He's a Democrat, and I do have Democrat friends. I just want to let you know that, and this is one of them. And Steve, it doesn't matter what your politics are. You can be a good human being, and Steve is. Hi, Steve. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Steve Walker from Southwest Detroit.
And he's married to Flora. And by the way, I loved your picture you put down in Twyla's room with Rivera's wife.
Corallo.
No, the famous artist, Diego Rivera's wife.
Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo, thank you. Frida Kahlo picture they put up in the wall in Twyla's room. It was beautiful, thank you. Now we have Jimmy here. Oh, is that Jimmy, my nephew? That's Jimmy, my nephew.
Hey there.
You mean Cheryl? Cheryl, top half of Cheryl's head. Okay, there's the rest of her. Hi, Cheryl. You're not that short, I know.
Hey, Uncle Bill.
Jimmy came down to see. So before you say anything, I want to mention that my sister, I have a sister and a brother, and my sister got married and had 8 children. Kathy, Stevie, Peggy, Paula, Jimmy, Ricky, Mike, and Gary. 8 of them. And they all had kids. And now my sister's family is very large. And as it gets bigger and bigger, we see them less and less, unfortunately. We used to have parties at my sister's house, and she passed away a while back. With my brother-in-law also passed. And Jimmy is one of the few we're keeping up in touch with, and he came down to see Twyla at the hospital. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for coming down. So nice seeing you, Cheryl.
Uncle Bill.
I have to. We'll talk about it later, but
okay.
We don't pick favorites in the family or nothing like that. We love all our relatives, of course, but especially you two, and Cheryl, Twyla, and I both appreciate Cheryl's activism and concern for unions and stuff like that. And we know your background. We appreciate it. Thank you. We're moving on to 2 other very good activist friends of ours, Michael Friedman and Barbara Harvey, who were for many years in the Jewish Force of Peace. Hi, Barb. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Bill. We're so glad to be here.
Really, it's a pleasure, and it's sort of participating in a virtual shiva, which is the Jewish tradition. When someone passes away, the family gathers at their house, and it's nice that you afforded us this opportunity.
Wow, that's funny. It's a culture.
I'd like to add that we have spent many innumerable evenings at Bill and Twy's house on Jewish Voice for Peace activism. Bill really gets the credit for putting that together locally here in Detroit. And Twyla was always present and there in every way. And, so we didn't get together socially, but these political get-togethers were very social at the same time. And it was a joy to be with them in their house all the time because of you got the vibe that this was a good, strong, solid, and mutually supportive relationship. It felt really good.
And you came to our movies many times too, and we shared those fun times with the potlucks and the discussions, and really appreciate that support. Thank you for being here, Mike and Barbara. I'm going to move on to Jerry Goldberg, who I will use as an example of a person that we had political differences for many years. I mean, extreme political differences. And now we're like, I have no problem with Jerry at all. I don't think he has any problem with me. There's ways to overcome differences, folks. And that's some of the most beautiful things that happen in life when you find out this person you didn't like for a long time. Your enemy ends up being a friend who has common interests like you do and same concerns. And so I learned that about Jerry, and Jerry's become a new friend of mine, and he actually came down to see Twyla at the hospital. But you know what? I've lost his picture here. Jerry, where'd you go?
Here I am.
Where are you?
I'm still
Oh,
here,
there you
I
are.
think.
You moved on my screen. Okay, go ahead, Jerry. Just want to make
But
sure your
just real
mic's working.
briefly, I've only really gotten to know Twyla for about the last 6 months and a lot through Facebook. But just in that short time, I've gotten to appreciate, her sincere, her heavy commitment to social justice. And not just the commitment, but her astute political analysis as well. And hearing her present different presentations, both on Facebook and in person. So it was an honor to get to know her. And it's always hard to lose a comrade in this world.
Thank you, Jerry. And like I said earlier, I mean, I quite often I got the credit because I took the initiative, and whether it was always because of Twyla. I hardly did anything without Twyla. And like I said, when we decided to restart the U.S. Peace Council or have a chapter of JVP in town or whatever, I mean, it wasn't me that alone. I mean, I lived in this house with Twyla, and we did everything together. And she may not have handled that part of it that I did, but she was always there helping me work on the details and making sure. And to be honest, if she didn't like something that I was doing, I would have to correct it. I mean, I would have to fix it because I couldn't go ahead without her support and without her help. So maybe she never got enough credit. She never got the awards and the kudos and the thank yous and all that stuff all the time like she should have. I'm sorry about that. People should understand that when you're a partnership, you can't divide what people do that easily because you work together as a team. And all credit to Twyla. Anyways, thank you, Jerry. And so Miguel, Gail, let's see. You moved on my screen, so I'm trying to figure what happened here. Okay, Linda. Okay, so Linda Bruton here. Hi, Linda. Linda's one of our film people that started joining us on film. So glad you could be here, Linda.
Hi. Yeah, I had to come when I heard. I'm really sorry for your loss, Bill. Twyla was a great person, and I enjoyed the time that I knew her.
Thank you, Linda.
And thank you for, letting me have that opportunity. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Linda. So now I know what happened. People moving around on my screen. I didn't know that happened. But Franny Goldstein, I've got her next to my screen again, and I don't know if she's got her mic working, but I guess not. So next on my screen is Floor, which is just a black screen. So I assume Floor is there with a microphone. Floor, are you there?
Yes.
Thank you, Floor, for being here. I appreciate it. Say something else, Floor, so I know you're there.
I really don't know what to say because I think that I have been thinking about all this lately, and this is a situation where I find myself the words cannot reach what has to be said. So I think that humans are very, very. You have a big limitation when things happen. This is not the only case. I'd like to show another example. For example, when I go to any museum or something at the DIA and I see a big picture, sometimes it's so wonderful that I cannot find the words to describe what I feel, and what I have been feeling for Twyla cannot reach the words. So that's all I can say. Humans are very limited. We think that we are good or great, but we are not. That's all I can say. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Flora, so much for being here. Steve and Flora are partners, and Flora used to watch our house and watch our little dog Tanya, who she loves very much. And Flora thinks like animals are people more than I can do that, and it's so beautiful that she loves Tanya very much, and all living things. And Flora's from Mexico, and she has a mother down in Mexico that she visits quite often, and helps us with learning about that culture. And the great president of Mexico right now, AMLO, she knows all about him and what's going on there. Very good for us. Anyways, thank you, Flora, for being here. I'm moving on to Carol. Next is Carol Bender, an activist from the East Side, a longtime friend of ours too. Hi, Carol.
Bill, this is a wonderful way to honor our precious Twyla, my role model. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, thank you, Carol. And Nicole is, I just see Nicole, but is this Nicole McDonald?
Right, you did it.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Nicole. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm
so,
outside.
oh, there you are. Good. I'm going to put McDonald here so I remember that. It's Macdonald.
Hmm.
Okay, Nicole is a great painter, folks, a muralist, and she did our mural in Hamtramck Hamtramck on Joseph Campo in the main building. It's 17 windows she did artwork for. It's still in the window. It's about COVID. She's done many great art pieces around the city of Detroit. She's a community activist, and her artwork is of the people. She works for the people. She's a beautiful artist and a person too. Thank you, Nicole, for being here.
Mm,
Oops, I knocked your first name off. I put in McDonald in there.
that's okay. Mm.
I want to make sure because we're filming this and for some friends who couldn't be here and wanted to be part of this. Um, okay, so now we're going to Violet. We already did Violet, right? So now we're going to Jalila Ahmed, who also came down to see Twyla and brought a beautiful bouquet and some food for us for our event yesterday. But I lost. Oh, there she is. Hi, Jalila. Love you. Thank you for being here.
A good evening. My sincerest condolences for you, Bill, Heather, Scott, Rob, Jimmy, Cheryl, and the rest of your family at this difficult time. Thank you, Bill, for making the time to bring us all tonight to be with you, to be with your friends and your family.
Thank you, Jalila.
You're truly a gift to us all, and the memory of our dear Twyla will live on.
Jalila is the superintendent of public schools here in Hamtramck, and she's also just on an extended leave of absence right now because the school board's playing games with her and trying to get rid of her. It's terrible what they're doing to her. We have to help Jalila. Very few people in the city got on the bandwagon to help. Twyla and I were constantly trying to help her and trying to get people to understand what they're doing to her. And she's a fighter, and we're fighters, and we're going to fight and make sure she gets to come back to be in her rightful place because she loves students, she loves children. And she was doing a great job until COVID came along and made it tough for every administrator. It was very, very tough. And some people on the board went after her, and now it's still in court and all sorts of mess. And Julie doesn't deserve any of this. So, anyways, I didn't want to go into that. I'm sorry, Jalila, but it was a great chance for letting my friends know that we have to support Jalila in Hamtramck here. Please look into it anymore if you can. Okay, next is let me see. Okay, Danielle and Cameron. Okay, let's unmute. Danielle and Cameron are our new progressive neighbors down the street here. Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. We are recent neighbors. I can't find where my camera is, but we're recent neighbors of Bill and Twyla, and we're very fortunate to have gotten to know her briefly this past summer, and help out every now and then with the peace forums. So,
thank you for being here. Cool young people, progressive people that we're hoping will help change the world. Because our generation didn't do it, unfortunately. We've got to go to the next one. So here's Joey Beerline, who's also another progressive person, but doesn't live in Hamtramck. Hi, Joey.
Hey, Bill. It's a privilege to be here, and thank you for having me. It's wonderful to see everyone here and meet everyone. I'm not feeling very well, so I'm not going to say much, but thank you so much, and yeah.
Thank you for being here. Now on my screen, I see one last name left. I think it's Gary. Did I miss anybody else? I got Gary here, and Gary, I'm not quite sure what Gary it is because I know several Garys, so I'm going to find out which Gary is this.
It's Gary Hannafy.
Gary Hannafy. Okay. Gary Hannafy came down to see Twyla yesterday too, and he's a good friend of ours in the film world and in the activist world too. Hi, Gary. So nice you're here.
Yes, I'm so glad to have known Twyla the past couple years, see her at Burke's Warehouse with you and other places. So I'm just feel blessed to have known her.
Thank you, Gary. So I think we met everybody. A little bit, at least we got our names. I mean, you know that each other have loved Twyla, for some reason or another. So there must be something way that you could all like each other too. So that'd be cool. Now, some people came to Birch Thursday. I think Barbara and Mike are at Birch. We had a wonderful night there, and I'm there every Thursday. Just want to remind you about that. So now I'm going to show a video from our wedding, and goodness sakes, it's already 7 o'clock, and I just met the people here. Whoa. Okay, well, here we go. I appreciate you. First of all, I appreciate you for being here, for wanting to be here, wanting to be part of this. This is not a regular film night by any means. It's totally different. We will show 2 movies at the end. They're short films if you want to hang on for them. I've got some still pictures, and I've got some little short videos from our lives together. Here's a video. I'll just show this first about Twyla and I on our wedding day in 1966. And we were, it's about 8 minutes long, and some music to it. I put some music to it, but it's a very blurred picture. But Twyla's the one in the white dress, and I'm the one standing next to her. And it's a little blurred, so you'll recognize it though. You know, I think Jimmy was there. Were you there, Jimmy? I think Jimmy, were you at the wedding?
I was running around, yeah.
I think you were a little kid running around in this movie. Okay, so that's my nephew. Here we go. All right.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? And lovers are wed to break of day. Why do they fall in love? Why does the rain fall from up above? Why do fools fall in love? Why do they fall in love? Love is a losing game, and love can be a shame. I know of a fool you see, oh, that fool is me. Tell me why. Tell me why do birds sing so gay? And lovers are wed to break of day. Why do they fall in love? Why does the rain fall from up above? Why do fools fall in love? Why do they fall in love? Why does my heart skip a crazy beat? For I know it will reach defeat. Tell me why. Tell me why. Why do fools fall in love? Here's my story. It's sad but true. It's about a girl that I once knew. She took my love, then ran around with every single guy in town. Hey, hey, whoa, 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 la, 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 whoa. Yeah, my should I known it from the very start. This girl will leave me with a broken heart. Listen, people, what I'm telling you, I'll keep away from a runaround Sue. Yeah, my little lips and a smile on her face, the touch of her hand and this girl's warm embrace. So if you don't wanna cry like I do, I'll keep away from a runaround Sue. Whoa. keep away from a run around Sue. I play that yeah, keep away from this girl. I know what she'll do. Keep away from Sue. She likes to travel around, yeah. She'll love you and she'll put you down. Now people, let me put you wise. She goes out with other guys. Here's the moral and a story from that guy who knows. I fell in love and my love still grows. Ask any fool that she ever knew to say, I'll keep away from a run around Sue. Yeah, stay away from that girl. Don't you know what you do now?
Hello, baby. Yeah, this is the Big Bopper speaking. Oh, you sweet thing. Do I what? Will I what? Oh, baby, you know what I like. Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down, a wiggle in the walk and a giggle in the talk. Make the world go round. There ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose like a long-necked goose, like a girl. Oh, baby, that's what I like. What's that, baby? But, oh, honey. But, oh, baby, you know what I like. Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down, a wiggle in the walk and a giggle in the talk. Lord, make the world go round, round, round. There ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose like a long-necked goose, like a girl. Oh, baby, that's what I like. What's that, honey? Pick you up at 8, and don't be late. But, baby, I ain't got no money, honey. Oh, all right, honey, you know what I like. Chantilly lace and a pretty face, ponytail hanging down, a wiggle in the walk and a giggle in the talk. Lord, make the world go round. There ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose like a long-necked goose, like a girl. Oh, baby, that's what I like.
So now this is another short video. So we got married, and Twyla, we lived on Ferry Street down by Wayne State University. And I took some film production classes when I was a student at Wayne. I had considered being a film director when I grew up, which I always wanted to be, and then I changed to film music composer, and I never did that either, and instead I just was a musician. I was pre-med for 3 years of college, and I dropped out of that and went into music. But in the meantime, I took this class in filmmaking, and I had to make a film, and I came up with some stupid idea for making a movie, some theme. We had to come up with a theme. So my theme was simply Going Somewhere or whatever it was called, and it was going to take a picture of Twyla leaving the apartment and going down Woodward down to the Art Institute, and that's pretty much what it was. It was an exercise in film editing and cutting. The story meant nothing, of course, but I do have to admit, and this is very embarrassing, that I got an F in the project. They didn't like it at all, so that's too bad. But hey, I had fun with Twyla, and I got to know her a lot better, and I loved the way she moved, and I did some slow motion stuff, and I was really getting into Twyla when I made this movie. So it's only like maybe 3 minutes short or something like that. So this is my one college film project. All right, guys. So yeah, I was at the avant-garde back then, and it was like just experimental kind of filmmaking and cutting. There was no sense to the story. I mean, other than the trip to the end. To me, it was a trip to the end of the class, so I could get out of that damn class and get a grade. Because the teacher was not a good teacher, and I mean, he didn't like give me a lot of instructions, for example. So I just went off on my own, and at that time, I was into avant-garde stuff a lot, and let somebody else make sense of what was going on. That was good for me. I had an idea what was going on.
Well, you said a trip,
So yeah.
The end was
I forgot that we weren't married yet. This was when Twyla moved down. After we had met that summer in '65, she came down and lived in that apartment before we were married. And so that's why it was Twyla Sauer. And she had a ring on, her engagement ring on at the time. I noticed.
I noticed.
Yeah, Laura, did you have something?
Yes, it took me all this time to get in to be able to see. And so I just so enjoyed exactly what you said, the way she moved, as the song goes. It just, it was wonderful. So I'm so glad you made it. And I think that the teacher is an idiot, frankly.
Oh, well. That don't matter. So, thank you, everybody, for putting up with that. I don't show that to anybody. I don't think I've shown that to anybody. Twyla, I was so in love with Twyla at that time. I didn't really care about what the movie was saying. I just, hey, I got this movie I'm going to make. I'm trying to, impress Twyla. And, come on, you got to be my star of my movie and all that sort of stuff.
I liked all the antique cars that you had.
Well, actually, it ends up being quite historical because a lot of that stuff is, it's changed in many ways and down in the DIA and the building across the street, the Sapphire Lounge is now. That whole place is an apartment building. That clinic isn't there anymore. So, I mean, I still live around here and I see those areas. It's changed quite a bit. But that house is still there and I've gone by it many times. And I remember anyways, that's our place where Twyla first lived in Detroit.
I like that.
Anyways, that's Twyla at the earliest age in the movie that I could show you that I made. We have some other little short ones that are from her trip. So I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to show a few short, like these are 1-2 minute things, just to give you an idea of Twyla's earlier movies. Where is this one here? 3. Is this the one?
That looked like me.
4. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so these are silent movies, and I just took the clips out from Twyla. This is a birthday party Twyla had when, after we got married, we lived on Cass and Canfield at Wayne State University, downstairs in that little apartment that you saw when we did that tour around the houses we lived in. And she was pregnant for Tracy, and we had a surprise. Was this a surprise party or was this Christmas? I don't know. I'm going to play it. You'll see what it is. Okay, so that's that's our first dog. I forget his name. Most of our dogs started with P. Pookie, Peppy, Pepper, whatever. But Puffer. This was Pookie. He didn't last too long because he used to pee and poop on the carpet, and we had to get rid of him because we were in this apartment, couldn't find it. So she's surprised. This is definitely a surprise birthday party. This must be May. And I wonder if any of these friends of hers back then are still around. Wow. There she is, Marv Singer.
No,
that's Marv Singer. Jeannie Donnelly. That's Jeannie Donnelly, her girlfriend from Bay City.
She is surprised. She's definitely surprised.
Yeah, she's surprised. There's her girl. That's her best. What do you call it? Maid of honor in the wedding. That's Chris Drake from Hamtramck. I mean, from when I lived in Madison Heights. So I guess that's all you need to see is just a little bit of what she looked like back then. Let me see what else we're going into here.
What birthday? How old is she?
Well, yeah, so she'd be 20 years old. She was 20 in this one.
20?
Yeah, 20 years old. So I think that's all I want to show out of this one. Oh, yeah, that's when Tracy was born.
So you already have Tracy.
So now we moved over to Holden. We live on Holden now. That's our little baby. Look at it.
know your job was.
Yeah. It's too bad the film really broke up before I could convert it to digital. Wasn't any way to save it.
Who's that?
That's Michelle Couvet.
Oh yeah, Michelle.
Yeah, an old friend of ours.
Yeah.
You see that old TV in the background?
Yeah. Okay, so let me see what else is Twyla here. Okay, there's Twyla and her family came to
Oh,
visit.
Raleigh. Huh.
There's Rob.
Jack Nicholson. Look at the old cars.
There's Tracy.
So,
Across to that's the Motown Museum right there, across the street from us. She's standing in the Motown parking lot. Motown Studios. But that's not what we're here for. She and Tracy, we're here for. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here's Twyla with her unique haircut when she was young, like that.
Tracy.
And Tracy. Oh, Twyla.
So young. That's water.
Or Tracy looks like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Twyla when she was young. Ready for, you know. There she is again.
Aww. She walked right into the camera. That's
This
water.
is when we lived on Lauder.
Is that him?
And this is where Heather was born, and when we lived there. There's Tracy taking off down the sidewalk. And had to catch her.
I think that was me.
This is a resort where I worked in a Jewish resort for many summers. And my kids grew up in Jewish resorts. This was called Nippersink in Wisconsin. Very famous Jewish resort. People came up from Chicago to this resort mostly. This is Jerry Haspatcher, a drummer, my drummer in my band. We had a lot of fun that summer, goofed around. Here's Tracy and Heather. That's Heather.
Yeah, that must have been nice.
Yeah, we had wonderful summers at the resort. Every summer I worked the resort. There I am with my sideburns. My sideburn beetle look.
Yeah.
So, are you, Bill, are you saying that you were Jewish or you just worked there?
No, I just worked there. Not Jewish, no. Okay, let me see if there's any more Twyla. Here's Twyla walking around at the resort. Our kids grew up in the pool. They learned to walk in the pool. We led a very luxurious, rich life, even though we weren't rich, because I worked at these rich resorts, and they gave full access to Twyla and the girls. It was a tremendous tremendous bonus for my job. I asked for that. I said, if I can bring my wife and kids, I can't do the job if I don't. So they were so nice to the family, and Twyla had a job at the resort, and the kids were taken care of in the kids' school and all that. And they met hundreds of people that came through the summer, guests and all. They were just treated like guests, Twyla and the girls. There's Heather learning how to swim. Actually, how to walk in the pool.
I didn't get it right.
Yeah. It's easier to walk in the pool. So that's Twyla.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go swimming.
Twyla was so beautiful. Let me see if there's any more of Twyla here. Sorry.
Peppy.
There's our dog Peppy.
Peppy.
Yeah. There's Twyla. Yeah, different direction.
Oh, there's me and my old man, yeah.
Yeah, let's go back a little there. So,
Which daughter do you have with you today?
Heather is with me now. The youngest one's with me. There's Twyla with the curly hair there. She curled her hair every now and then. So now I'm going to show some pictures. Twyla's collection of pictures on her Facebook page. Can you see this?
Yep.
So then everyone else can. Okay, here's Twyla. Okay, so these are not in order, but I'll try to explain some of these. They have little captions. This is Twyla's kitchen that we worked on for probably planned for 10 years to try to design it the way she wanted it, with everything the way she wanted it. And finally, 2 years ago, we got it all done with a new stove that she likes and the new cabinets, and everything got put together, and the tiles she picked out. This was totally us working together for what she wanted to have, and she was very, very thrilled. Finally in her life, she got her kitchen that she wanted, and unfortunately, she only got to use it for 2 years here. But so here's a picture from our 54th wedding anniversary. We'd hold up the signs like that.
Oh.
Twyla in her garden. It's too bad it's small. I'll go whip through some of these here. This is at a person's place. She's sitting over there in a corner. She commented on this picture. She said, "The napping grazer."
The what?
The napping grazer. She was. Looks like she's falling asleep over there. Twyla Meyer. Yeah. I don't know these other people. I don't know why she would say that. She wrote some witty things that I didn't catch half the time. Here's Twyla with Mary Helen Thomas.
Contradictive,
the napping gazer. Yeah. Who wrote on Grazer?
Oh, Grazer.
Yeah. Mary Helen Thomas was the one that assigned Twyla to the MPT team in Palestine. And Twyla went to Palestine several times. We'll talk about that later. Here's some of her activism. As going through these pictures, I remember that Twyla had sort of gained weight between 2010, 2015, and then she lost a lot of it. And by the last couple of years, she was very, very thinner than I've ever known her to be. Because she started on a keto diet with me, and she didn't really need to, I don't think, but she wanted to be on it. That's Ursula Walker there. These are musician friends at the musician. This is Isaac Robinson, who took this picture, and we were at a party that he put on. And here's a picture from the mural project that we did. And Twyla's in the middle right here. Can you see my cursor, Rob?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, there's Twyla then. And this is the artist talking to the Bangladesh community who sponsored this Bangladesh mural that our One Hamtramck group put on. Here's at a iftar dinner with Twyla and her friend Elisa. They wore scarves to be respectful of the culture. Here's Taya Aluko, the artist who does Paul Robeson, who was all around the world doing the Paul Robeson show. Here's Twyla in a group of singers. I don't know how she got in there, but she's friends with all those people, starting from the right here. This is Shelley Kay, who sang at her birthday party, her 75th birthday party, 76th birthday party. And Joan Belgrave, who I just recorded a movie.
Joan Crawford.
There's Sheila Jordan, the revered singer from Detroit originally. That's Sandra Bomar, Joan Crawford. These two people I don't know. Oh, that's Hadassah. Oh, she's a singer. And this is what's her name from Lansing, a singer. Very good. And Twyla, they invited her to come up to be in a picture, even though everyone there are singers, but they all love Twyla and invited her to be in this picture. That was
that's so special.
Yeah, that's a special picture. Now here's a picture we made, the formal picture of all of us for this mural project. This whole group of people were part of the committee for this mural that we put up back here. Here's me, and there's Twyla right there. In the front there. That has nothing to do with Twyla. I know. So here's a person, Nina Simone Bentley. She's a photographer, and we found her on an airplane as a stewardess. We didn't know she worked as a flight attendant, and she comes down the hall to take care of us down the aisle, and it's Nina. And we go, whoa! I didn't know, because we've only ever known and seen her in the jazz clubs and all, taking photographs. She's an excellent photographer, but she does this. She said that's her main job as a flight attendant. Where did that go? So here's another picture from the mural project. Sharon's in this one. Sharon's on with this group here. Kamal. Okay, let's go here. Twy and I at some dinner. Nina Robb. Mia, that's Marcus Belgrave's first wife. And Twyla. Twyla and me, and my cousin in Canada, Rosemary. Here we are in front of the mural project again. Here's Franny with Twyla. Franny, are you still on with us? Did you ever figure out how to get your mic on? Hope you did. There they are again. Here's
That was at my daughter's wedding.
That was at your daughter's wedding. That's right.
Wedding reception, yeah.
She got her mic working.
Yeah. Oh, there it says at the Rooster Tail for Lane wedding after. Yeah, and then this is when we won the contest for the best pie. We made a vanilla bean custard pie or something like that. And we won first prize at the Novak annual picnic. Okay. There's Kay and Mike, her husband, and Twyla. Twyla sometimes liked to wear headdresses like that. Here's Twyla, stylish Twyla at the opening of the mural, the first mural we put on. No, it was the anniversary of the mural. This was 5 years later. 5-year anniversary of this mural we painted. It's 5 years later. It's still in great shape. Right now it's getting bad. We got to. But look at her pants she's wearing now. I mean, unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
leggings, whatever they are. And she spoke at that rally. That was great. And then here's another activist thing we did when we were in New Orleans, I think this was. This is the mural project. Here's Twyla and Dee Dee McNeil and me. She's a singer that started out at Bert's for me. And there's Tracy in California when we visited, my daughter Tracy, and Dee Dee McNeil and Twyla. And now here's a group of Twyla's friends who are all into Halloween. And Twyla tried to organize this group of women friends. And so some of you are with us tonight. This is Sharon. This is Nina, Rob, Mary, Diane, Sandra Johnson, Kay, Twyla. Here's Flor, who was just on the phone earlier. She's got her shirt of the Flor Frida Kahlo shirt.
That's Mom's arm.
And she's got 3 arms.
Yeah, and
That's Mom's arm.
Twyla's arm is around the floor right there. That's Audrey. And back here is Dorothy, Cher.
Who's hiding behind Floor?
Behind Floor? No. Oh, there's someone there. Oh, that's Violet Brooks.
Oh, there you are,
she is.
Violet. Yeah, there I am.
Yeah, Violet. And then here's our friend Max Collins. Her name is Max now.
I met her yesterday.
So that's everybody in that Halloween group. And
Mom's giving the devil.
Twyla was
Very good.
Twyla was hoping to have a party this year after years of COVID. Couldn't have parties, and she was planning this year to get together with all these people again for Halloween. Here's Twyla speaking at Bert's when our friend DJ Holiday passed away. I think Twyla was DJ's best friend. And I mean, we're going to play a movie about her later, so you'll see DJ. But Twyla for some reason really hooked on to DJ. DJ was loved by people. She gets standing ovations at Bert's. She sang old Billie Holiday songs, and I made a CD for her, and it's a great CD with top musicians on it. So I don't know if you ever heard any of the songs from that, but she had a gravel old voice that really was so full of feeling in history. It was beautiful, and Twyla loved her a lot, and she spoke at a rally there, at her memorial party. There's Karen Delier and Twyla in New Orleans, me and Twyla. There's Sturge Moreland and me. He's a singer with the Temptations now.
What's the demonstration that you did in New Orleans?
Yes, that was.
She's asking what it was.
It was a Jewish Voice for Peace rally. They had it was pro-Palestinian rally downtown. I can't remember the names of the streets. I could picture them, but I don't know the names of them. So photos.
We did a lot of things with Jewish Voice with Peace. We were the Palestinian group, and we collaborated together to do a lot of things, and we did a lot of rally. That's why I couldn't really. I was trying to see the posters and recognize the rally.
Yeah, I think you were part of that rally, if I remember correctly. We knew you then. So I'm going
Yeah.
to show some pictures now from our album, and I'll go through these without any sound. Here we go. This is from our own collection of photographs. Okay. Mom had some sort of interest in, I mean, Twyla had some sort of interest in red hair. You'll see her
And
with,
she has a birthmark on her neck that people always thought were hickeys.
yeah, she has a birthmark right here that,
My friends would always say, your mom's got a hickey on her neck.
yeah, people thought she had a hickey, and I used to make fun of that too. She got to be fun. She could have got rid of it, but she never did. She could have had plastic surgery there. It's down here. It's just a birthmark. She has a birthmark here, but she wore red hair quite often. You'll see her in some of these pictures. That's Scotty Boy, as he was like probably 1 year old or 2 years at that point. There they are again with Nani and her red hair and Heather and my two grandsons.
Scotty with his hat backwards.
There's Tristan.
That's cute.
That's Buddy and Ursula. Buddy, piano player. Ursula's a great singer here in Detroit. Twyla at a concert. There's Twyla. So these are all Twyla's pictures.
Aw, Tanya puppy.
That's around when she first got RA. And that's when she got the puppy, what we call Tanya the Revolutionary. And she had that dog the whole time she had RA. It was her RA dog, and they loved each other. They loved each other. Here's a very famous woman that I can't remember her name right now. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. There's Twyla and Scotty. With the Twyla's famous flame computer with the flames on it.
Mommy loving Tanya.
There's the boys dressed up for something. We went somewhere. Oh, we went to a concert. I remember down in Toledo. We went to a concert. Scotty. Yeah. That's a nice picture. Women in Black. Of course, Twyla was one of the founders of Women in Black in Detroit here. That's our Group 1 Hamtramck, and Sharon Feldman was with us many times on many of the projects that we did. She's with us in Michigan Peace Council right now, too. Some plays on
Andy Warhol.
Photo imaging. While looking at a photo book. There we went to the Chicago Film Festival together. Although she wasn't as fanatic about films as me, she always put up with me. Humored me. She let me do what I wanted, I let her do what she wanted. Most of the time. Here we are on a jazz cruise. And we led the luxurious life, which we didn't have to pay for because I was working on a ship, so Twyla was a guest. And most often, anywhere I worked, I always asked if I could bring my wife. And most husbands and musicians never do that. But I always asked to bring Twyla. So all the musicians I work with who know Twyla know that she's a special, privileged person who was always interested and wanted to come to all the music stuff that husband did. And I'm so glad she did.
New Year's.
This is a New Year's on this big ship. There's a movie about this whole trip that's on my YouTube page. We went all around the Caribbean. This is St. Kitts. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's the drummer from New Orleans. He's the guy that plays the drums on that Treme TV series. I can't think of his name right now. He's down in New Orleans, those pictures. This is at the Slavery Museum, Twyla. These expressions of Twyla. I can read her eyes. I can read every part of her face. I know what she's thinking when she looks like that. She's telling me things without saying words. There's Karen and her partner, Karen Delier in Ann Arbor. There's I think this is Grand Hotel up in Mackinac. I did a gig up there. That's our favorite spot, our back porch. That's Lisa Perkins. Here's up in Traverse City at the film festival, and that's Mark Jeffries, Mark Cousins, the filmmaker, who we just went with a group of people to see his film at the Art Institute a couple weeks ago. This is the artist. This is the director himself, a cool guy. There's Scotty and Twy and me at the in Montreal at the International at the World Social Forum. It was a great experience. There we are again. Scotty got to meet a lot of interesting people. Here's Jill Scott and Jamu Baraka when they came down to Burt's. This is in the back of Burt's. We put on a music fundraiser for their campaign. She ran for president on the Green Party ticket, and Ajama was a vice president. And now he's on the board of directors of U.S. Peace Council, which I'm on, and I see him every month in our board meetings. So now this is back, what year was this? Wow, our old phone number.
Oh no, that's right.
This is has to be, wow, I lost the phone number a long time ago.
She came home from Palestine.
Yeah, this is the one after her first trip to Palestine. That's a little later because the dog's older there. That's our living room and the booth.
Dining room.
Yeah.
This is your anniversary?
It might be. Yeah. We always try to make each other laugh. Okay, who knows this woman? Oh, she's a president of the NAACP, councilwoman at...
Joanne Watson.
Yes, Watson, Joanne Watson. Beautiful woman, beautiful woman.
Yeah, she does right there.
There's Sharon Meyer, Don and Sharon couple. I think that's Karen back there. Karen Hammer, if I can tell. I think that's her. Behind there, Twyla. We had many parties in our house. This is Sigrid Christensen, wife of Richard Levy. Here's Linda Rayburn, who's the co-chair of Michigan Peace Council with me, and Twyla is the treasurer. And this is Linda's partner, David Rorick.
Oh, that's a sweet picture.
I love Linda. There's our family at a wedding. This is Amanda's wedding, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Amanda's wedding. And there's Heather and Blair and their two sons, our two grandsons, and Twy and me. This is a Palestinian man who toured the U.S., and I can't remember his name, I'm sorry. He was a great guy, and we sponsored him in Detroit. He stayed with us for a couple of days. Here's me with my silly hat on that I had for a while.
Papa with a do-rag.
Yeah. Here's a party out at my
There's Peggy.
my niece's place. This was at Jim. I think this is at Gary and Carol's house, if I remember correctly. So this was in our house with Richard Levy's there. Yeah, wherever Twyla is, the dog's not far behind.
Yep.
That is, I can't tell who that is. I thought that was Debbie Albritton. It might be Debbie Albritton. There's Janice Fialka. They were in New Orleans. They couldn't believe those desserts. Beignets. Here's Twy and me on the cruise, jazz cruise. Wow, look at that flower. Oh my gosh.
The leaf.
I'm sorry, flower. Leaf.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that cool? that's a bench at the Alice. You would know that. That's at the Botanical Gardens in New Orleans. Have you ever seen that bench?
No,
No. This is Charlie
I never
Gabriel.
saw that butterfly seat.
Yeah, this is Charlie Gabriel, a great horn musician, and his wife Marcia, down in New Orleans. There's Karen and Marcia Twy. It's New Orleans. This is where I worked down in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. I worked at this place for a while. There's Frank and Karen with us at Little Dizzy's, one of our favorite hangouts for food. What a great buffet they have there. You remember that, Karen and Frank? I heard you talk a minute ago.
How could we forget?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great place. And then there we are again in front of that museum
Yeah,
of the Lower Ninth Ward. You know, remember when the levees broke and flooded that whole area? This has been resurrected since in memory of the people who lost their lives. There's Karen and Twy.
Oh, nice.
In our house, red hair, same
Oh, I
colors.
remember that. That's where we stayed.
David Tollington, our friend from Toronto. Here's an event we had in Hamtramck for Muslim candidates running for office. Twyla and her red hair again. Pink hair, whatever. That's Tata.
Fuchsia.
That's Keith and Tata. Yeah, there she is. She looks so beautiful there. There's Twy. Oh, these are some of my favorite pictures of that chalkboard. I don't know who took these, but this is Janice Fialka.
You're heavy there.
I think this is one of the, yeah.
That's a nice picture, Mom.
This is a nice picture, Mom.
Aw.
Yeah, I like that.
You look pretty that day.
There she is. I think she always wore the same color hair as her shirt that she wore.
No, she did.
Look at that. This is exactly the same. Just like this one back here with the same, no, not that one, but right, no. There, that one. That's the same color as the shirt.
Yeah, the same shirt.
Whereas this is different, this
Might have
one.
been same day.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Same one.
For me, it's Essie.
There's
yeah.
Don Greenspan. We went up to Traverse City to the film festival. You know, can't get any place to stay when you go up there. So we actually brought a tent and stayed in the state park. This is Don's tent. And we actually stayed in a tent and had to dress up like that and go places. That was funny. There's Sharon and Don and Twyla and our air mattress. Once again, Twyla with the. I like that picture too.
Yeah, it's a
her
nice
hair's
picture.
nice in that one.
Now she's holding her hand up like,
Yeah. This is not our garden. This is someone else's field.
That's that coffee picture from New Orleans.
Okay, Tata.
Oh, that's
No,
our,
kind of doesn't look very good in that one.
yeah.
There's
That's
Twy's Robbie and Twy's mother, and
That's when that was.
and Farida. That's
Oh, Farida.
that's Twy's sister. Yeah, Gary's her older brother's wife, widow now. Her older brother passed.
Who's that over there?
And is that her new husband, Rob?
Well, boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Are they still like that or not?
Yeah. He's like 86 now.
Oh my God.
Wow. Here we are on a jazz cruise.
Jazz cruise.
There's Tracy, our oldest daughter. Back seat, we visited her. This is Dee McNeil. I think we saw this in another picture. And my Tracy, my oldest daughter, Tracy. That's our family there. There's Tracy and her boyfriend, Eric. Tracy again. There's our friend Jerry Fialka, who's the brother of Janice Fialka.
What's up with Mom's hair?
And Mom's hair is blowing in the wind, I think.
Yeah, she looks like a
That's funny.
troll doll. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's cute.
Here we are in a restaurant. This is a Chinese Maoist restaurant.
It's a nice picture. Clear.
Here's Twy with two friends. This is Mia. This is Marcus Belgrave's first wife, and this is Nina Rob.
The first
Nina is Twyla's marijuana doctor who helped her with her medical marijuana.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
And this is a couple of women in the black. After March, they went to the restaurant, took a picture. Twyla. And here they are. Look at the picture. I have a movie of this, and they're hilarious. They're like laughing their ass off. Here's our friend Bob Wyke, who is an actor. He plays Karl Marx in a play, and he tours all over the country. Twyla with a Jimi Hendrix shirt
Bob
on.
Marley.
That's
I
Jimi
meant to
Hendrix.
say Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, and then I don't know, where's Twyla in this picture? Why is this in here?
Right there,
Oh, there she is, right there with Bob.
Yeah.
In New Orleans, I think. So this is about as heavy as Twyla ever got. She got pretty well, although this is a distorted picture, I think. That's Doc Holbrook from Detroit here. They came up and visited us in New Orleans, and Bob and Doc were there at the same time when they stayed with us, and that was our apartment we rented. It was great. And this is Doc sticking his tongue out behind us at the place called the Prime Example, our favorite club. It's a lot like Bert's up here in Detroit, the one down in New Orleans, just like that. And here's Alice. Alice and Twyla. Are you still with us, Alice?
Yeah. I wouldn't recognize myself.
That's a good picture. That's a nice picture.
That's when we came and visited you at your
Yeah,
house.
it is.
Yeah. And then there you are again.
You have to send me a copy of it.
Okay, and this is the owner of the club that I just showed you. I forget the name of it.
Prime Example.
Yeah, Prime Example.
Yeah.
And, he acts and looks a lot like Bert Deering, and I introduced the two of them together. Both bar club owners, and they had a lot of fun together. And there's what's his name? He's a great poet and musician. Anyways, why? Here's when we did our Bangladesh mural project. We had people come and see it. Okay. Here's our neighbor that came over and sat with. She wanted to get a picture of Twyla, so she put her camera out for a selfie, and I took a picture of them both taking a selfie.
You're heavy there, Dan.
As I did. Yeah, I'm heavy. We both got heavy in the early 2010s. That's why I went on a keto diet, because I was getting too big. I lost 40 pounds in 2 months. 3 months.
Holy shit.
And I was 215. I went down to 175, and I pretty much stayed there. Twyla went on it too, but I don't remember being big when she went on it. Here's where Twyla spent a lot of her time when she was in pain and very weak in the house here for the last year or so. She would, although this picture's from up north, from New Orleans, she would get up in the morning and go out and take care of her garden and water the garden and all that, and then take care of the dog and play with the dog, and then she'd go to the coffee house maybe. It was 2-3 hours, and then she'd come home and she couldn't stand up anymore, and she would like lay down on the couch with her phone. I mean, not even with her head propped up, sideways, with her head down, with the phone next to her and sideways, and going through Facebook and everything else. That's how she lived most of her days, because she had no energy left from the RA that was killing her, and she was between infusions. She was in bad health for a long time if she didn't get her right medications, and that's why she was on Facebook so much. She got really involved in it. And here's my cousin Diane in Canada. We're from Canada. I'm from Canada, and that's my cousin near Kitchener.
Singer.
Yeah, Zinger family. There we are in, I don't know what city this is. Oh, this is Traverse City. Traverse City.
Oh.
I think it is. No, this is downtown Detroit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looked
This
like
is a filmmaker right here who's making a movie about Barbara Dane, and it's supposed to come out soon. I worked with Barbara Dane for a while. So here's a meeting with Frank and Helen from Peace Action, and right here, and there's Kamal, my best friend, my best friend here in town.
And your friend sitting next to
And
Mom.
right there is Ramsey Hussein,
Ramsey, yeah.
a good friend, and Mike Duffy, and the rest of these are, here's me over here, and the rest are our Bangladeshi committee. Okay, here's my next door neighbor, Moinal. and his mother. Moyna lives right over here behind us.
Yeah, I think.
And he bonded with me once when I was out in the garden when he first moved there. I went out in the garden to help Twyla and dig out a bunch of plants. I was digging real hard. It was hot summer. It was like 100, I think. And she said, "You shouldn't be working on it." I was under the trees. I thought I was all right. But when I got out to stand up, I got fainted, and I came in and I was really like going to faint. And Moynal was there and came over and heard about this, saw me fainting, and came over and was so worried about me that ever since then he's been worried about me. He calls me like almost every other day since then to make sure I'm all right. Is everything all right?
Yeah, really.
Uh, it's amazing. This kid is amazing. We've become good friends. We've become very good friends. Moynal. That's his mother. Here's where we won our pie contest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only gonna do it for 20
Here's the first committee that started the mural project. Twyla with the jazz musicians in my band. We were at some concert. And there's Scotty and Tristan. And that doesn't even look like Twyla. She's changed the looks without glasses. Squinting, yeah. That's funny. That expression is only once I've ever seen it look like that.
It must have just where you clicked the picture.
Yeah, it's sort of distorted camera. This is the old kitchen that she's probably looking at me and saying, "Bill, when are you going to help me get the new kitchen? Remember you promised us 10, 15 years we're going to get a new kitchen?" And we finally did.
That's a cute face.
Yeah. Okay, here she is with her RA doctor, the guy that tried to save her. And he did for a while. By the way, she passed away from West Nile virus, and she had COVID at the same time. She had RA, which couldn't fight off the two viruses. And plus the fact that she was 76 is old for having that. So those four factors is eventually what ended her life. It wasn't only COVID. It wasn't only West Nile. If she didn't have RA, she could have beat West Nile. It was the RA because she had that disease for 15 years, was knocking her out. And they said when she first got it, they said, "This is going to knock 10 years off your life, you know." And then she smoked for a long time in her life, and they said, "That's going to knock another 10 years off your life," the doctor said. So her mother lived into the mid-90s, and Twyla lived till 76.
Whoa.
It was unfair. I think if she wouldn't have got the West Nile, she would have made it. She would have beat COVID, no problem. It was the West Nile that did it.
Right.
Mosquito. The two of them together. So it wasn't just one thing. It was the two together, RA and the West Nile. Here's Bert Deering, the owner of Bert's, where I played at for 22 years, and he loved Twyla. There's the three of us.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah. Here's sort of a powerful stance. Twyla loved this. No loitering, so she's going to loiter there. That's yeah. So here they are laughing. That's Sharon. Sharon Meyer has the same last name, but she's not related. And her friend. That's at Bert's. Okay, you saw that one before.
Yep.
This one we've seen. There's a few last pictures here of Twyla looking a little differently.
Nice oh, that's a pretty picture.
Yeah, with curly hair. Every once in a while, she curl her hair.
And blonde. She just looks like she has a lot of hair there, doesn't she, Pat?
That's a cute one.
I always liked her blonde like that.
I told her when I started doing hair at the end here, I said, "Mom, you're gonna be blonde. Don't go back to anything else. You'll be blonde till the day you die."
She held it. She held
I
it
told her, I
blonde pretty
said,
good.
no more pink or purple, Ma. We're blonde till your end of days.
Here's her bedroom where...
She looks great blonde. That's why I stayed blonde.
That was her little corner of the world right there when she set it all up. She'd move furniture around a lot. She liked doing that.
She loved doing that.
And she'd set it, design it a different way, this way and that way. And I don't bother me for a long time until I realized just give it up, eh? Let her enjoy herself. This was...
Neurotic furniture mover.
If she was here now, I'd let her do anything she wanted to do. I would never say anything.
Yeah.
So, learn that, folks. I mean, don't ever complain about little things. Don't mean shit, you know, as long as you got the person you love with you.
Yeah.
Right. Here's Carol and Tada. Here's Twyla still waiting for a kitchen. When's it coming, Bill? This is when her arm really hurt, her shoulder hurt. She had all sorts of devices that she would wear to help her.
Are we going to see the new kitchen?
Yep. Yeah, there was a picture here. I had a picture of it. I thought I showed it, but I'll show it
Isn't
again.
that when she had her shoulder surgery?
She did have shoulder surgery. That might be then. Yeah, she had her left shoulder replaced, joint replaced. Okay, back. Oh, so she's good. The dog's yawning and making noise. Good.
That's cute.
Outside at Miguel's house.
Yeah.
There's Dan and Carol, Twyla with her cool pants, and Tada and Mary. That's a nice picture. That's our backyard. Twyla.
With you in her sunglasses.
Yeah. Twyla getting wrinkles. She's getting old. She knew that. And the RA made her get wrinkles and skinny. That's in her family. That's her kind of skin.
You need more water.
Okay, here's Women in Black had a meeting in our basement. That's the group she worked with. She helped start that one. That's Janice Cruz. There's also somebody's mic is on and making noise. This is us in Florida. This was a what was this? One of those photographic effects you can put on a picture. This made us look older. I think, or maybe that's the way we really look. I don't remember.
Really, you don't look older. It's actually a nice picture.
Here's a beautiful shot in the cypress gardens. Wow, look at that. It's so mystical. You can get lost in the middle of those. That's Twyla down in Florida.
That looked like me.
There's her old kitchen. There's Women in Black, her group that she loved.
Yeah. That was so sweet.
And now here's her and Dorothy Scherer, who was at the house here yesterday. Again, at Miguel's house. There's Heather and Twy.
Like your mom.
Okay, that's fine.
That's funny.
Okay, and this is us in
That's a nice picture.
in the newspaper. We attended some important event in Dearborn. Okay, I think we've seen almost at the end
Oh,
here.
that's cute.
Yeah, that's her doggy.
Tanya loves her mama so much.
That's her garden. She loved her garden.
Went out and never came back.
During COVID, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful. Nice yard.
Her garden was amazing.
I love that picture. There's with our next door neighbor.
Whoa. Wow.
She grew great
Oh
flowers.
my. Ooh.
That's my favorite one of her.
It was a very nice picture.
God, she looks like grandma there.
See?
Wow. Hmm.
The dog under the table, always waiting for food. Tanya under the table.
She could always sit there.
Aww.
She'd go in her room and play around with her clothes, and then she'd come through and say, "How's this look?" And I'd be at the booth, and she loved doing it so much I couldn't really say anything bad. I mean, I didn't like that hat on her,
But it's cute.
but I wouldn't say it. She would be hurt. And look at her, how she had always tried to dress with these hand guards she had to wear handguards because her fingers were, and her joints were hurt, her wrists, yeah. So she had to try to look stylish and still wear her
She did.
her stuff.
She always did.
Hmm.
Those wristbands were her lifesaver. That's the part that hurt her the most.
Hmm.
That's it for those pictures.
Those are so nice.
Hmm.
Oh, people, I'm so amazed that you are sitting through these pictures of my loved one. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
You are so beautiful. If you have to go, I understand. I'm going to keep going though. I got some more things that. Heather, I got to show you a couple of little short videos here. I'm going to show a couple of short videos next, and then we're going to get to the movies. If you want to stay for them, you're welcome to. But there's this her poetry. I want you to hear about her poetry, and we're getting to that soon here. Okay.
I just got some errands to run.
So this is. Oh, no, you want to see this? Hang on. Why can't I do this the right way? Why doesn't this open up the right way? I know why. Because it's not opening in the right program. Open with. VLT. See, there it is. Okay, and all other. Change all. Okay. There we go. Continue. Yes, I do. Okay, here we go. Now it'll work better.
Bill, my father has stuck together.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so these are some short videos, like 1 minute stuff. That well, this was at our 50th wedding anniversary. No, it was here. Might have been at our. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. This is Heather speaking at the. Let me see if I can get this going. Thank you so much for your patience, because I'm. This is technical. Okay, Robbie, let me know if this works.
They prove there is strength.
Okay, it's working. Can you hear it?
Well, it started to.
Bill, my father have stuck together through thick and thin. They prove there is strength and love and dedication. I'm glad they are together and that they have, and hope that they have 50 more years together. I love them to the moon and back.
Yeah. So that was very short. Now how can I keep showing short movies in a row? I have to keep stopping and doing this. Okay, I might have to. Okay, let's see this one.
Say that again.
Okay. Oh, why'd that come on here instead? That's not good. Okay, we're going to show this one. That was from our 50th wedding anniversary, apparently.
Oh, 50th. That's what it was.
So here's DJ Holiday next to Twyla in the living room, in our living room, for our 50th there.
Say that again.
Bill, I think you're amazing.
And this happened to me, and I called her.
He is. What would he say, Chucky? Is he amazing or what?
Yeah, he's amazing.
You are completely amazing.
Yes, he is.
And I think enough people just don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Should we get these people over here? Hey, is Bill amazing? He's or what? Or what?
Oh, wow. Yes, he is.
Okay. I don't know what she was doing there. She was playing.
That was you, Pat.
She was playing a game on me, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that was you.
So then here's this one. Okay. This is a minute long, and this is we played a recording of the song from Fiddler on the Roof about a married couple that's been married for so many years. I don't know if you know it. Do You Love Me? It's called Do You Love Me? And we just mimicked. We mouthed it. We what do you call it? Lip synced it. And it was sort of like the way we feel. So after all these years, do you love me? I mean, okay. So here we go. I'll share this with you. It's not the best recording, but let's see how it works. Okay, here we go.
Do I love you? Well,
I'm not gonna move my lips.
for 25 years I've fought with him, starved. 25 years my bed is his. If that's not love, what is? And you love me. I suppose I do. And I suppose I love you. It does, but even so, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
It's nice to know.
So, you know,
Bill, my father has stuck together through thick and thin. They prove their strength and love and dedication. I'm glad they are together and that they have, and hope that they have 50 more years together. I love them to the moon and back.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's a song, that was a very small part of it. I don't know if you know the whole song. It's a beautiful song. It's, you know, these two people have lived together and struggled together for so long, and they never had time to stop and say they love each other that often. You know, you know, I cooked for you, I did this for you, and then he says, I built this house, I did that, I did this, and you know, we never stop and say, I love you, thank you for building the house, or thank you for taking care of me when I'm sick, or for making the beds, or for making the food, or you know, you don't do it every time. And the song's about that, and it ends like, well, I guess after 25 years, it's just nice to know that you love me. You don't have to say it all the time, but and we didn't say it enough.
You guys said it all.
We didn't say it enough. And for you who love people, this is when you know love is most important. When you go through something like this and you lose a loved one, you feel like you didn't say you love them enough. So while you're here and we're alive, I have to say I love you more often, because you have to respect people too. My daughter has to leave. So, in other words...
Yeah, I got errands and I got to do my hair.
Okay, so I'm going to cut out that video then of Nani dancing with Scotty. Oh, well, I could show that one.
Go watch it,
Yeah, so let's watch this one. Oh. So, I'm sorry, but let me get this ready here. Okay, we got to go back to the beginning. So,
what party was that?
one of the tragedies in our life, which had tragedy, one of the unfortunate things in our life was that my grandkids never got to dance with Nani or go to a party like this, or a wedding. I played hundreds, probably thousands of weddings in my life and watched people just have wonderful times with their family and kids and dancing and playing games and goofing around and all that. But Nani and I never really had a chance to go to weddings with that often with our own kids, even, or let alone our grandkids. So here's one chance that they actually had a chance to dance with each other at a wedding that they both were at.
Aunt Amanda.
It was at Aunt Amanda's wedding. So I'm just going to show this little clip here of how much I know Nani enjoyed this. We talked about it so much. It was so important to her. So I'm just going to show you this little scene.
I'll be a fool for you.
That was very short. Okay. Yeah, that was it. So, you know, it's funny that, where are we here? Okay, back to this. Wait, I can't find people. Okay. Oh, I gotta get out of that. I'm screwing up here. There it is. Okay. I'm sorry, folks. I had to unshare the screen. Okay, so, oh, okay. Bye, Heather has to work tomorrow. Now I'm going to look at my list, make sure I covered what I wanted to cover: Facebook pics, photos, YouTube. Okay, now I'm going to go to some of these YouTube videos that we can get rid of that app. Get rid of that app. Go to videos. Get rid of that for now. Okay. Well, as you know, these are all available on YouTube, and so this was the. Should I jump to this now? I think. Hang on one second. Let's see, Jasmine, 2008, 2019. Oh yeah, I want to show this one first. This is a strange one. Okay, so this is a little video, very 30-second clip of Twyla at our booth, preparing for I don't know what. Okay, here we go.
Here, Twyla is my first video with my first digital camera in my life. And face recognition is on. This is just amazing. You should see how it actually follows the face with the little brackets. If I move the camera this way, the face goes over there. And now I'm recording over there. Say so.
That's clever. Very clever. So how much do you want me to say?
She couldn't be less interested in the camera. But that's how she would just be. She wouldn't say, "Bill, you're wasting your time." That was too funny. Okay, so here's one more like that. So this is Twyla's interest in acting, in comedy. She always wanted to be working in that field from high school. She was taking acting, and she was in a play in high school, I understand, and all that. And this was later on in her life where she took classes at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle and with Second City. So this is her first stand-up that she ever did, and it was, what year? 1999. Okay.
She just completed Gilda Hauser's stand-up classes a few months ago at Ridley's, and now she's here doing it on stage here for the first time. Let's welcome Twyla Meyer, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. Let me get my where it belongs. So Lefty Lucy, right in time. Oh, I don't know. All of a sudden, my whole world just stopped today. All except for the traffic going that way. I had a green light. Okay, well. I've always wanted to be a comedian ever since I was a baby. I would spit up on people just to see a reaction and get a laugh. I still do it occasionally, so you guys in the front here, keep your hands over your glass, okay? It's only natural that I'd become a comedian, because my mom was a comedian. Yeah, she was. She always kept us kids laughing. She would quote poetry. She would say stuff like, "Yesterday, upon the stair, I saw a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. Gee, I wish he'd go away." Then she'd sing a verse of, "Nobody knows the trouble I've seen, nobody knows my sorrow." And she'd end it off with the Woody Woodpecker song, "Ha ha ha ha." Then she'd say, "It's okay, kiddies, just go ahead to bed, Mommy will be okay in the morning." But my dad was not funny. No, he stood me up at the father-daughter dance. Yeah. He was so strict, so self-righteous, he got honorable mention in the Bible. Actually, he got a whole book named after him. The Book of Frederick. Yeah, the Book of Frederick. 3rd chapter, 12th verse. "Thou shalt not laugh." If thou dost, thou wilt get a whooping. That's the Bible Belt. My dad invented it. I was a shy teenager. So it's a good thing I had a split personality. That way I didn't have to be alone. Thumbsucker. Anyone here a thumbsucker? Yeah. In high school? Yeah, kept me off the debate team, but I was a hit with the football team. I was suicidal too. Yeah, I had to quit that though. It damn near killed me.
So her comedy, that was her first time being comedy, and she wrote all these lines out in practice, and some of them on me. And it's tough, you know. She was pulling from her own life and trying to turn things into jokes and stuff. And she got better. She did it for quite a while, and that was just her first one. I don't have many videos of the other ones, but I do have one from Second City. A little clip I'll show you. When she was in Second City. And Chris Housen is a good friend. I don't think she joined us tonight, but she's in this video with her. She's in the black dress.
Thank you for coming on down tonight to see our final performance of I Hear Rustling. Margaret's level 5 class. We'd like to thank you for coming tonight. We're going to begin with a game called Conducted Gripes. In Conducted Gripes, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to ask for some suggestions here in a second about changes that have happened in your life. It could be major changes. Maybe you changed your wish list to Santa Claus from a teddy bear to a milk white steed. Or perhaps you changed your hairstyle or maybe your marital status. So to begin, I need a change that's happened in your life for Tim, please.
Waistline.
New waistline. James, please. Underwear. Underwear. What for David? Finally sold up. Sobriety. Puberty. Take one for Twyla. Sobriety. Sobriety. She changed her sobriety. Okay, one for Jackie. Skipper.
All right. Well, I just wanted you to see her there. It goes on for quite a while, and they do improv. That's available on our. A lot of her stuff is available on our YouTube channel, the family channel, and I just want to show you a clip of her when she was on Kelly and Company. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to learn a little bit about Twyla's life from this video. She was a guest on a Kelly and Company TV show. Twyla, as you know, is a recovering alcoholic, and she became a substance abuse therapist. She studied and got a degree in substance abuse therapy and helped many people after that. And she ran a clinic, and to this day, people are still calling me, people we know that said that she made a total difference in their lives and that saved their lives sometimes. Twyla was a very compassionate person, as most of you know, and she was willing to help people after she saved her own life by getting out of the alcohol thing. And it took a long time. She had a rough time. And she's going to talk about it in this show. So this is very, very revealing about Twyla's life. This was probably maybe 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember the exact year. Oh, really?
We're back, and as I said before, we have a lot of stories in the audience. You were addicted to what?
Alcohol, other drugs, marijuana, diet pills.
It started with alcohol?
Yes, alcohol was my first drug of choice. And when I moved to the big city, marijuana gradually came part of it, and then diet pills and a few other drugs.
How long? When did you start?
I started approximately, well, my first drink was when I was 17, and it progressed from there. I began my recovery at the age of 32, and I've been recovering for 13 years. Marijuana came along about the age of 20, and then the alcohol just became the focus of my drug abuse.
What happened that made you went to a center, did you?
No, I didn't. I I didn't even know there was such a thing as a center. I woke up, well, I guess I woke up in the middle of a blackout is what happened, and realized that I had to take responsibility for my own life, that alcohol was destroying me. I'd torn my own house apart, I'd torn my marriage apart, I'd torn my children's lives apart, and I knew that the only way that anything was going to make any sense was for me to begin to stop drinking, to look at my alcohol consumption, to look at my to look at my life in an honest kind of way. And I began my recovery.
You had children.
2 girls.
Two
Yeah.
girls. Did they tell you after you were in recovery that they wanted to tell you and they didn't tell you, or they were afraid to, or did they try to and you just didn't catch on?
I think one of the most one of the things that lived in my head that I couldn't get out of my head while I was still actively drinking, my husband had taken my 2 daughters to their doctor appointment, and when they came home, my daughter Tracy, who was probably 9 at the time, had her little hands just filled with all the pamphlets that you get out of the pamphlet display thing on alcoholism and the need for recovery. And I was so angry when she handed them to me, and I sat in my bedroom, and I was just livid with anger, but I could see the hurt, and I knew that I had to do something. Yeah, my children tried to tell me very definitely.
Well, how did you kick it?
Well, I realized that I had to go to whatever length I had to go to not pick up that first drink. For me, it was what it was for me. You know, for each person, it's different. But I had to really learn how to live. I did not know how to be a social being without alcohol in my life. I had no skills, so I literally had to be around other recovering people every day, not just for 90 days or, a half a year, for just about a whole year. I went to a meeting every day, and an AA meeting I was referring to, 12-step programs. And for me, that's the way it was. It certainly didn't take anything out of my day-to-day living because while I was under the influence of alcohol, I wasn't there anyway. I was just existing. So the couple hours it spent for me to pay attention to my recovery was worth the investment.
Feel great now.
I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. Thanks. Thanks.
You like that. So that might have been something some of you didn't know about Twyla. And then she went into substance abuse therapy and worked at clinics and hospitals and never went back to drinking and changed her life. She was totally different. She was a person who drank alcohol and reacted in a different way than most people that I know. So this was a big challenge in her life, and I love Twyla for her courage and her power to overcome, I call it 3 things in her life. Alcohol, which was very tough to overcome, but then she stopped smoking also, which is also another tough one. Now, I also say that she freed herself from the grips of religion when she was younger, the grips of negative religion. I don't say this against religious people or anything. I just say that in her family, religion really affected her in the wrong way, and she got herself away from that. And in a very, I don't know if you ever heard, not that she was in a cult or nothing like that, but she was in a family that was quite strict religiously, and she learned to think a different way and got herself out of that. And then she got away from alcohol, and then she got away from smoking. And to me, that's the woman that we could live with, that we could love, that found her own way in life because of doing that, and then we were able to carry on our marriage. It wouldn't have gone this long if it wouldn't have been for Twyla's amazing strength and ability to overcome that. I was drinking too, so I never went to AA, but I'm in the music business, and you tend to drink and smoke when you're in that business. And I never went to AA, but I also quit at the same time, out of respect to Twyla. The year after she quit, and she was serious about it and quit, I quit and got all the alcohol and stuff out of the house, and for a while it was very, because it's tempting when you're trying to stop drinking if it's around the house, it's not good. So I stopped, and then I never went back myself either, and that's why some of you see us at parties and stuff, and we're the only two people that aren't drinking or whatever, or a couple of the few. And it's the only way that we could survive. So, I mean, other people can handle alcohol better than we could, I think. Or certainly better than Twyla could. It was ruining her. It was killing her. So I'm so glad that she found her way. And this is one time that she was on a TV show and got to talk about it a little bit. And she looked so beautiful on that show. She was such a pretty lady.
Okay. Yeah, I really liked seeing Twyla's performances. I'd seen some of them live, but it was nice to see them on video because when I saw her live, I was just so, concerned for her the whole time that I couldn't kick back and laugh because I just wanted her to do a good job. And when I saw the video, it was just, I could just observe, and it was really funny. And I wanted to know, was that her own material?
No, so I'm going to explain that. That's the next video, actually. I'm glad you led into this. She recently took acting classes again after a long stay away from it because she got RA in 2007, and it knocked her down. And, she went to Palestine 3 or 4 times in Palestine. Oh, that's a couple clips. I got to show them first. She went to Palestine with the Michigan Peace Team, and then she wanted to keep doing that kind of work, but then the RA came in and she couldn't go out of the country anymore with the medicine thing and all that. And her big love for being an activist and going out around the world and doing stuff was stifled. Someone wrote a real nice letter to me about her, Twyla, and saying that if the person who ran that program said if we could have had 10 more people like Twyla in our group, we would have been able to make a big change in Palestine and Israel. It would have been. She was courageous. She was loving. She wanted to solve the problems over there with the little ability that any of us really has to fix problems. But I have a couple. I'm not even going to show them right now. To be honest, I'm just going to go right to her acting because after being with RA for a long time, she dropped her acting stuff and she dropped her activism as far as traveling. And then COVID came and we all had a hell of a time with that, and it made it much worse for her to do anything. And so COVID sort of let off a little bit, and we were starting to get out more often, and she started to think, well, maybe I can go back to acting classes, and she wanted to get back into that. And I was so thrilled. So she made a movie. She was in a play downtown Detroit, maybe just before RA, and I can't remember the name of it, but somebody called from California and needed a person to take on the role. One of their lead actors couldn't come to Detroit to do the show, and they needed someone to take the role, and someone had given her this person Twyla's name for some reason. I guess Twyla was at Second City or whatever. So they called from California, asked her if she'd be interested in playing this role. It's sort of complicated, and there's a lot of dialogue, and I could send you the script, and the show's in 2 weeks, that kind of stuff. Twyla never had an offer like that, and she was just totally shocked. And then she found out it was a pretty much an all-women's play. It was about lesbians, and Twyla's not a lesbian, but she had no problem with trying to be an actress and being one. And she took the script and learned it in 2 weeks, the script, one of the lead roles in the play, and went down and did it, and she was so miraculous. And I took a video of it, and I could not find that video anywhere in the house. I'm trying to find it. I wanted to show a clip from it. But there was one scene in it near the end where she had to be nude at the, a waist up, I think it was. And she didn't stop her, and then she asked me about it, and I didn't care because it was a chance for her to be in a play. And some people in this group here went and saw her play. Pat went and saw her play there, and I think Kay went and saw her. And I think Violet might have went and seen her there also do this play. And it was very good. She did very good. But I don't have that video to show right now.
Does anybody remember the name?
Does anybody remember the name of that play? I could not remember the name of it. Okay. So that was before RA. Then she got RA. Then COVID came, and now COVID's lessening off, and she was willing to wanted to go back to take acting classes. So that's why she took this. She wanted to take this class in Royal Oak. It was met every Thursday for like 5-6 weeks, and at the end they video you doing a scene from a movie or something. And she was very excited about it because the other was theater acting, and this was movie acting. And so she asked if I thought it'd be a good idea, because the problem is it's on Thursday nights. The class is on Thursday, and that's when I play at Burt's, and she always came to Burt's every Thursday night. So she was going to have to miss Burt's, and she was thinking I'd be upset or something. I mean, this is her biggest dream, to be an actress. And she was worried about going to Burt's Jazz Club to hear us play. So, of course, we both said, take your class. I mean, go do it. And she took it 5 weeks, and they filmed her scene at the end. And we got to see that. Twyla got to see that after a while. It was nervous for her. She'd never been filmed like that. And it was her first time, ever, I think. And doing a scene like from a movie. And then same thing happened again. They had a second class. This time they're going to do scenes with 2 people. And she had a problem of deciding about Burt's or the class, and we agreed to go to the class. So she went to it 5 weeks again. And then she took a video at the end of it again. And then she got sick. And then this is when this all happened. And she went in the hospital. She never saw the video from the second class. And so I got a hold of the teacher and asked if I could possibly get the video from him. And he said, of course. And he says, Twyla was one of our favorite people in the class. She was so beautiful and loved everybody. She loved doing the class. She was the only older person. They were all like young kids doing this thing, or 20-year-olds or 30 years old. And here she is, 70 years old, going back and taking acting classes. So the first clip I'm going to show you is a 1-minute clip of her in her first class doing a monologue from a movie called Requiem for a Dream. This is about a woman who she loved drama roles, tough, hard roles that people were, facing desperation and tough things in life. She thought she could relate to that and understand the alcohol thing and all that, and try to be real about it. The first scene was from a movie, Requiem for a Dream, and I forget now who the actress is.
Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn, right. She did her role, a little scene in the movie.
Wow.
The second movie she did with another person is about a woman. It's a John Sayles movie, Passion Fish, and John Sayles, the great American director, made the film. And it's about a paraplegic woman in a wheelchair who's lost, feels like she's losing her life, and she's alcoholic, and she's trying to get her booze, and she has a new housekeeper who is resisting letting her get her booze because she knows it's not good for her. So this is what the scene's about: her dealing with her new housekeeper who's not helping her get what she wants. So that's the 2 scenes. They go one after another.
And that was Alfred Woodard.
No, it wasn't Alfred Woodard. She was the housekeeper, right? The woman that Twyla played was Mary McDonald.
That's right.
Mary McDonald. And it's a powerful film if you want to see Passion Fish. It's amazing. And Twyla, I don't know if she had a choice of scenes to do, but they knew her, and they knew what she'd been through in her life and what she'd be best for in her age and all this. So they sort of typecast people that were in the class and thought this would be a great scene for you to do. And I guess so they gave it to her, and she went gung-ho with both of them. And she had, I'm looking at her books now. She had notes. She just took page after page of ideas on how she's going to do these roles. And this is her final product, final acting project in her life.
Big deal. You drove up in a cab. Did you see who had the best seat? I'm somebody now, Harry. Everybody likes me. Soon I'm going to be seen by millions, and they're all going to like me. Sure, I'll tell him about you. And Father. How good he was to us. Remember? It was like a reason to get up in the morning. To lose weight. To fit in a red dress. It was a reason to smile. And it made tomorrow all right. Harry. I don't have anything, Harry. What do I have? Sure, I make my bed. I do the dishes. But why should I? I don't have anyone. Father's gone. You're gone. I'm alone. I don't have anyone. I'm lonely. Harry, I'm old. Okay, game's over.
What game?
Where have you hidden the booze?
Oh, I threw it out.
In the garbage?
I poured it out. Bottles in the bin.
You poured it out!
The recycle people don't like anything in those bottles.
Look, Kara. I don't think I can do this. When I'm stronger, I'll quit then.
If you don't quit, you'll never get stronger.
Hey, all right. The deal was for 24 hours, right? Now I've done that. So you go ahead, take my car keys, and get yourself over to Ralph's and pick me up my booze.
I'm not buying you anymore.
What?
If you want it so bad, get it yourself.
Duh. I cannot drive.
Well, that would be something to work your way up to, isn't it?
What's your attitude? I hired you. You do what I want. Go get my fucking wine.
Listen to you.
You listen to me? Go get my wine.
Dream on, lady.
Who made you warden?
And who made you queen of the earth? You tired TV watching old witch. Every day you sit in this house feeling sorry for yourself. You drink every single day and you're not even a drunk yet. Every day I wake up, I want to get high so bad, I can't even breathe.
Cocaine's different.
Bullshit! What do you know about it?
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Away from you. I am tired of this. Away from you.
Don't leave me.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a little clip from Kay, our friend Kay, who she says at the beginning of the little clip that she's afraid of talking in public and all that. So, but in this video she did, because it was at her 50th birthday party, and it was so beautiful. I wanted to share this with you guys. Like I said, I've got 50,000 pictures, and I'm not doing it in the right order. I'm only picking and choosing because the ones were available for me without having enough time to put it all together in the right way. But thank you so much for your patience and sticking around. I'm amazed that you're actually still here, and I'm going to try to cut this short if I can. But here's a little clip with Kay talking at our 50th anniversary, which I think is very lovely.
Person who hates the microphone and gets very nervous, and I'm doing it anyway. It's to Bill and Twyla, my favorite friends.
Yeah. Hold it up to your mouth.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently, They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify, or vilify. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius.
Yeah.
Because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Rob Siltanen.
So this is a little health thing here that has to do with Twyla's last few days here. I'm going to show you a few things relevant to what she went through recently. This beautiful lady who you saw in all these beautiful pictures unfortunately went in a coma on August 24th and never came out of it. She was incommunicado. We couldn't connect with her anymore from August 24th. That's 2 months. Her body deteriorated during this whole process. She lost her strength, her ability to hold her jaw up even. I mean, when we'd visit her jaw would be hanging down in a grimace. It was so tragic and sad. All she could keep moving in her body was her eyes. She moved her eyes a little bit. This was at a time when we still had hope that she would pull out. Of course, it wasn't until just last week when we got her third MRI report that said that the damage got much worse in the last month from the previous MRI, and that there would be no hope for her to come out of a coma. Not only that, but if she did come out of the coma, it would be impossible for her to she'd be in a persistent vegetative state for the rest of her life, with 24-hour care for the rest of her life, not even probably to be able to communicate, because her brainstem also was damaged, and that's the part of your body that makes you come out of a coma. So she probably wouldn't even come out of a coma. And I feel a little, well, I thought, well, appropriate, if it's possible, if we could just have her live till our 56th anniversary, which was yesterday. And I sort of felt like it'd be symbolic. And what's an extra few days, even though she was it looked to me like she was getting worse in the hospice, and I might have put it on too long, but I hope I didn't. We made it to 56 years, and she's the love of my life. I've never loved anybody more than her, and it'll always be Bill and Twyla. And I didn't know how else to let her go out in her life the way that she wanted to, other than we talked about it before, and we both agreed that we didn't want to come back and live in a vegetative state if we had to. Neither one of us wanted that. So I feel that I made the decision that Twyla would have made, and I hope if I'm ever in that condition, I would do the same thing. It was the toughest decision of my life, to make a decision about the person I loved the most in my life. So you read my letters. I hope I was a little more lucid in my writing than I am in my talking here, but I try to make it clear how important Twyla was in my life, and I'm sure you're here because she was important in your life. That's why I did this night of films, which is not a typical night of movies that we normally do. I have a couple more short videos. This is a couple very short. These are videos from when my Ring doorbell filmed her going out of the house. On August 19th, a Friday, Twyla got very sick. That's Tracy's birthday, my oldest daughter's birthday, and I had to take her to the hospital, to the emergency room. So we went over to Harper Hospital, tried to get her there. This is a video of her going out of the house. on Friday the 19th. So I'm going to show you this one. This is a camera from our side door of our house, and I put on her bathrobe and helped her get out of the house, and it was like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and she went out. She did not want to go to the hospital. She didn't think she was that sick to go to the hospital. I did, but she wasn't wanting to listen to me.
No.
Let's go. So that was, we went to the hospital, to Detroit, to Harper Hospital. It was like 8 o'clock. Waited in the waiting room. There's about 10, 15 people there, all sitting around the room with blankets on, leaning over, sleeping in chairs and shit. We signed her in. She couldn't even hardly stand up. She was in the car and couldn't even sit up in the car, and we had to take her in and put her on a wooden bench, and she found a double bench where she could lay down on my lap, and then we waited hours. One person went into the emergency room every hour, and there were like 10 or 15 people in front of her. She wouldn't have gotten in till noon the next day, the way it was going, so I had to take her back home. So she came home that night, Friday night, the 19th of August, and Saturday and Sunday I had to work all weekend. I had these jobs booked a long time ago, and I couldn't be with Twyla, and fortunately Pat came over and helped all day, both days, and Heather. And then when I got done working all weekend, finally Monday, I had a chance to say, okay, I'm free now. I can do whatever we have to do. Let's take. I didn't have a thermometer to take her temperature, so I had to go out and get one. And I finally took her temperature, and it was 103. And she had probably been hot for a long time, and I didn't even know it. We didn't know. Pat was here with her, and she was saying that she had headaches, and she was shaking, and she couldn't even hold the cup at all. She didn't drink anything, eat anything. She got dizzy when she'd get up to go to the bathroom. She'd bounce off the wall and just couldn't stand up. And it was very bad. So Monday morning, after she found out her temperature was that high, I knew something was seriously wrong, so we called the emergency to drive. Hopefully that would get her into the emergency room. We called the ambulance. The ambulance came in, and 2 people took her test and all that, said, it looks to me like COVID. She's got COVID. I said, well, she's had COVID a couple times this year already. I don't think it's something different. So she got taken to the emergency room, and here's the second video of her going out of the house for the last time on August 22nd, Monday the 22nd. This is being taken out by the ambulance. Her last time out of the house. This is Monday around 4 o'clock.
Good.
Perfect. Under your arms here. There we go.
Here's your
There
thing.
we go. Thank you so much.
So I could follow behind you over there?
You can come with us.
Oh, you can follow. Do you have a car?
Or you can follow.
All right, yeah, follow behind us. That's better.
Yeah. Now I can leave one.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so that was the last picture of her house, last video of her at our house. But I did have one more picture that I had of her in the ambulance. She's laying down in the ambulance anyways, you know. And she went to the hospital, and it took me an hour to finally get in the back room. And then I finally found her. She was in a bed in the back of the hallway. There's a bunch of beds in the hallway. It was just like chaos in the emergency room. No one was looking at her at all. But finally, the doctor came up and said, okay, we took her test when she got here. She's tested positive for COVID. And Twyla was still awake and listening. She was hearing that. And the doctor said, but we're curious. We're not sure what happened because she's seeing double, and she's slurring, and her voice, and not making sense, and delusional, and that's not COVID. So the next day she got put in an isolated room, and then was totally ignored because her monitor wasn't even hooked up to her. It was horrid. And they kicked me out because she had COVID, so we couldn't even visit her anymore. And the last thing I said to her was, well, I got the monitor fixed. So I said, hey, I got something done at least while I was here. I got the monitor fixed. They weren't even listening to her. They didn't have it hooked up to her. They called me the next night, and says her oxygen went down to 40 or 50. And we had to give her intubator and sedate her. And we're going to try to get her into the ICU. And I felt like, in a way, that made me feel good that at least somebody was paying attention to her, because up to that point, no one was. And at least they looked at her and saw her and saw that she was probably dying from no oxygen. And she got up to the ICU, and it was like from night and day. She had like from no care up to intensive care. For the next month, I had access to doctors and nurses, and they were the greatest team up there. They were helping. I could call them anytime. They would tell me the results of the tests, everything. I felt that Twyla was on her way to being taken care of the right way. But it didn't get better. It didn't get worse, but her health didn't get better, and she never came out of the coma, and they were trying to get her out. They did a lumbar puncture, which was a test on her spinal fluid, and it went away. It takes 10 days to get the full test back. The first, in 3 parts, the first test showed that everything was fine. The second test showed everything was fine. The third one, that takes 10 days, showed she had West Nile virus. And the doctors and everyone was shocked, because that totally explained what was going on with her delirium and double vision all, because the virus attacked her brain. And it never stopped. And at one point, the nurse said it's like a hurricane went through her brain, because she has RA and nothing could stop it. Nothing could stop it. And it was tearing her brain apart. They took MRIs, 2 of them. It still looked like there was hope that she could eventually wait till COVID, and COVID went away after a month. But that the West Nile virus would possibly shut down and stop doing it. But when they took an MRI last weekend, a month after the previous one, it showed that it didn't stop, and it totally suppressed her brain and activity, and there was no hope for her to come out of a coma. That's why it ended up in a tragedy. Otherwise, for a long time, we had hope up to the end. And so many friends and family were so supportive and helped me. Came down and visited Twyla, called us, brought me food, took care of it. I'll never forget how supportive people were. Because we believe in our community of friends, and they came through, and I really appreciate all of you who helped us. So thank you so much. At different degrees, I know you have your own life and what you have to do. I'm just amazed at some people who just gave up their life to help me. I mean, it's like, wow. I don't know if I've ever done that in my life. I've got to think twice now about how I treat other people. When someone else is in stress or tragedy like this, it's not the same when it's not your own person that you love. It's different. You have to realize it's someone that someone else loves. And the compassion has to go there. So thank you to everyone for your help. I thank you for sticking around for this loosest movie session I've ever done in my life, and the most difficult one, with trying to show these clips back and forth. Green. This is a couple bios that Twyla made when she went to Palestine, and you know, I thought it was sort of interesting how she worded what she did in her life, because it's hard to write a bio about yourself if you know. I don't know if I helped her with this or not, but I just read it for the first time, and I can't remember doing it. I found it among her written works, so I thought I'd share it with you. Okay, this is a bio from 2006, before she got RA, and I think this led up to her work in Palestine. So if you want to read it, Russ, go ahead.
Sure.
From 04.
Yes, from September 22nd, 2004, Twyla's bio. Twyla Meyer, throughout the 60s and 70s, participated in civil rights activities as well as anti-war marches. She worked on the Southfield Food Co-op with her husband Bill for 10 years, from 1972 to 1982. In 1984, she graduated from Mercy College of Detroit and went to work at Sobriety House in Detroit as a substance abuse counselor. From there, she worked for the Oxford Institute as an outpatient therapist and manager until the mid-90s. In 1978, she became part of the steering committee for the Grey Panthers, a group of youth and aged in action to help protect rights of older people and fight rights of everyone. Throughout the years, she has been a member of Palestine Aid Society, the Cuba Coalition, Peace Action, and the U.S. Peace Council. In 1989, she joined the International Work Camp for the Mayor of Nazareth and went there with her husband to help rebuild the infrastructure of that city. There she learned for the first time what a military of occupation of a country was all about. In 2001, she joined with several activist women and helped establish Women in Black. They hold monthly vigils against war and against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. In 2002, she joined up with the Michigan Peace Team, a nonviolent organization, and went to the West Bank. She has made several month-long trips since. She uses her skills as a poet and writer to help get the information out to the American people.
Beautiful. Thank you for reading that.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me the chance.
I'm going to share a little. It was a shorter bio that came a little later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's much different, but let's see this one. Would someone like to read this one? Okay, I will.
I'll read it if nobody else will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Twyla Meyer first experienced the effects of the Israeli occupation of Palestine in the summer of 1989, when she and her husband volunteered for the Nazareth work camp during the first Intifada. In 2003, 2004, and 2005, she traveled to the West Bank and worked with the ISM. The work took her to Nablus, Tulkarem, Bilan, Hebron, and other villages and cities to participate in checkpoint watches and nonviolent vigils and rallies. She is actively involved in anti-war activities and a member of the planners for the Detroit Women in Black. Twyla, age 60, uses her poetry to reinforce her anti-war and human rights message. Those are amazing stories, by the way, Bill. Those are phenomenal stories.
Yeah, it is interesting that you wrote that. I never read that. So I wasn't going to show these clips, but I'm going to because these are very important clips about her work in Berlin. There's a movie about her work there. It's online. You can watch the whole movie, but there's a little clip from it. And Israeli soldiers come on and start shooting where the Palestinian, there's children there, and she yells, "Get out of here, you can't, there's children here, you can't shoot in here." That's her voice in the background yelling, if you can hear it. Let me see if I can get it going. Clip, here we go.
Drink your tea and smile.
Hey,
תנסו הביתה כולם. כולם להיכנס הביתה. כולם להיכנס הביתה. קדימה, להשאיר קצת תורים. לחזור לשאת תורים ולהיות ערניים.
I had the camera on. Those sons of bitches. Damn assholes. I had... I had it on.
Ça va? Ça va? Ça va? Ça va?
That was Twyla at the last shot there in the pink. She went right forward to protect the kids when they were shooting. And when the camera panned back over there, that was her cleaning herself off there in the pink shirt. Here's one more clip from that scene, from that event. This is from the movie called Berlin, My Love. This is one of the most gut-wrenching films.
وانا وين مش فضاني قاعد؟ لا البيت اتقرا الباب. حشرونا سكروا علينا. وقتك مجنونة.
תראה גם את זה שמאחוריו זאת אבנים.
אתם ממש קורבנות. אתם הקורבנות האמיתיים פה. כן. אני אצלם את זה, אל תדאג.
لا مش جيش هذا مش جيش انا كود جيش
ما شايفهم
هذا مش
سبسبوه
جيش
لما انخبطوا الصوت.
هذا شاي انت اسمك؟
نعم.
تعال اشرب شاي تعال.
أنا بدي أصورهم في البلد.
صورنا في البلد؟
هم الجنود في البلد الكيك؟
دخلوا جوا.
أروح أصورهم.
بدك تشرب شاي؟
بعدين؟
انت مفتيح لي؟
يلا.
شتا حزير؟
كين.
شيدا وين باين؟
פה בבית הזה?
כן, הנה בבית.
בסדר. שוכרן.
אין בעיה.
בימים הראשונים של המאבק עמדו אנשי הכפרים לבדם מול הדחפורים והחיילים. עשרות נפצעו מדי יום. כשהתחלנו להגיע יחד עם הפעילים הזרים, קיווינו שרמת האלימות תרד. הוראות הפתיחה באש של הצבא המחמירות עם הפלסטינים אמורות להשתנות כאשר ישראלים וזרים נוכחים בשטח.
זה מה שלום, זה מה שלום, זה אצלכם. איך זה הבן אדם טוב? למה אתם לא ככה?
מה קרה לכם?
מה קרה לכם?
מה עשו לכם?
כן, מה עשינו?
מה עשו לכם? מה אתה מקשיב לפקודות האלה?
חלק מהפעילים הזרים נעצרים כבר בשדה התעופה ומגורשים. עד היום 2 נהרגו על ידי הצבא. בבילין הפעילים הזרים שוכרים דירה ומקיימים נוכחות קבועה במקום. הלילה אנחנו בבית של וג'י.
Michigan, Detroit, Michigan.
Are you with the ISM or not group?
Yes, Michigan Peace Team, and then we come to ISM.
أهلا وسهلا. وجيه. راني. علم. راني علم. محمد. لولو.
Lulu's back in town.
Lulu.
In the year 2000, 30 of September.
لما دخل شارون بعد ما دخل شارون الأقصى بيومين طلعوا طبعا الشعب الفلسطيني كافة الفئات تاعته مسيرات احتجاج على دخول شارون للأقصى. كان منهم راني قناص تسلاف قناص ضربوا برصاصة حية في ركبته من هان. كان هو يعني بده يضربه في راسه على أساس إنه يقتله. بس الرصاصة دخلت من هون خرجت من هون
and
من ظهره
get out from this point.
في العمود الفقري.
So Twyla was with the ISM, International Solidarity Movement, and the Michigan Peace Team worked with them. Israel eventually banned the ISM. They couldn't go in there anymore, but Twyla found, her organization found a way to still go back in other ways. And she's in this movie and several other places, but I don't want to skip through it. It's a powerful movie. It's called Beleen, My Love. It's on YouTube if you want to see the whole movie. It is one of the hardest films to watch about the struggles Palestinians are going through. Twyla was so glad that she was part of that whole project and was in this movie. And then, like I said, she came home and got RA and never got to go back again and continue her work. She was becoming the leader, or one of the leaders out there, and people were really impressed with the way she was organizing the teams and the work they were doing. So it was one of the loves of her life to do that, and acting and activism and music and poetry. I'm going to end with the poetry because she wrote poetry that I never even read. She wouldn't promote herself at all. She's like the woman who never got awards or recognition or attention. She's like the person who just didn't do it for that reason. She did it because it's from her heart. And she wrote these poems which she didn't even share with me. I don't even remember reading some of these poems. I just found them in one of her books. She wrote a lot of poetry during this time she went to Palestine. So these are from Twyla in probably 2006 or somewhere around there. If someone had told me as a boy, one day you would see your nation vanish from the world, I would have considered it nonsense. By Milan Kundera. And this is her poem. And then it and then it happened. Mask ripped away, true face revealed, gouged, deep with pus-filled holes. Leaders run ointment treatments over scabs to turn it back to false beauty. But ooze runs fast now, exposed to eyes that can see and burn with desire for real truth. America, America, not to be healed. You've sickened all you've touched. So I'll read the couple. An American arrives. I found it stunning, this average day. In the old city of Jerusalem, the walls look down on us as if they had eyes, where the soldiers guard all who enter, a high window over the entrance. Carefree, like entering a Kmart, I pass through the gate of antiquity. All souls, past and present, here mixing together. Fallujah Falls. In the town of Fallujah, the 200,000 inhabitants is a true Arab culture. Culture and art collide. Artists, soldiers practice war art, a true American art. Mangled this way, ravaged that way, it moves, it's dead. Terrorist mother nursing her terrorist infant. Take them out. A direct hit. Art in action. Defiance. Blast away, women, with your defiance. Take your body, voice, heart, and soul, blood and flow, and defy, 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 until your children are whole, and pure and loved, and purely defiant. Occupied territory, Nablus. Day 1, like a black and white photograph, the Bilada camp was drained of color. A chorus of "What's your name?" rose from the noisy boys. They nipped at us as we passed through the narrow street to Tet House. Look for the cow on the wall and you will know you're there. The gray wall of a building was the same as all the rest. The black and white cow head painting, the narrow opening and metal door. Stones and guns. Take aim, let loose. The throwers run together at the top of the cliff, fan out, let go their pocketfuls of earth, come back together to cheer themselves on after a victorious hit. They disappear off the cliff edge. I hear their cheers in the distance. The next barrage. The rocks fall fast from the cliff to their target, bounce behind, in front, atop. The Humvee speeding down the military road, kicks up a dirt fog. I stand in the middle of the bridge, the cliff in front of me. The soldiers on their tanks behind me take aim with guns. Talk. One must talk of babies, but not of dying of bullets. One must talk of travels taken, but not of peoples forsaken. One must talk of love, but not of unhappy endings. One must talk of hate, but only mine, justified.
Tel Aviv, taking leave. Blue musings on a spring night. Unfair serenity, and evening's blue sky, and more, the blue Mediterranean lies. Newsstand lies, the Israeli government wanting peace. Blue silhouettes at early dawn. A bomb in a blue backpack blew away the tablecloths, the blue jean patrons. Blue flags cover the corpses. Blue too present, blue too often, blue that cuts. The land of the free, the freedom to be. You must have 2 pieces of ID, carry them with you at all times. Freedom, don't like this word anymore, abused as the motivation to go to war, caressed as the reason for wrongdoing. In the name of, in the pursuit of, in the defense of, no compromise in the protection of. Spare us your freedom. Give us justice. The stain. Washed hands, washed and washed and washed. Laura, Laura, hold me. No, let go. Dressed me cute today in my plaid shirt, pressed jeans nice and tight, leather belt, silver star buckle, and of course my boots. Laura, Laura, hold me. No, let go. There, they'll meet us there by the bales of hay, and the brand new John Deere tractor parked just so. Me and Rummy the Joker, Colin the Duke, you and Condoleezza prim as school marms coiffed and pearled like mannequins. Laura, Laura, hold me. No, let go. Leno's jokes last night about prison camps, women's panties on naked body heads, $500 in Vegas. It is all a joke. Set to go. Cameras roll. Washed hands, winks, smiles. The news is made. Our hands are clean. Boy, that's relevant to today.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to read? I don't want to take over.
Oh, I'll do one.
Thank you.
The street is the market. Even as the helicopters floated low in the near distance, cucumber, tomato, watermelon, lemon filled the marketplace of those who belong to this ancient land. Children play in and out through the shelves as mothers glance quickly skyward. The voice without, the voice within. The mist veiled me into a cold cocoon. His shadow voice, strong and heavy as he flew past, took my attention with him. They say sometimes you come face to face with God. He knew he was right, how self-righteous Americans can be. Subtitle, Howl. Mountains howl with pain of death they cannot stop. Jagged cuts deep into the earth. The skin of life ripped from her side. She bleeds the waters of man's inhumanity. He walks in his familiar place, but no longer connected to his familiar place. He only feels his arms clutching the blood-soaked coat. His eyes see only the secret possession wrapped within. His mind is gone. Immobilized in his familiar place, only blood and death remain. Anybody else want to go? Well, then I'll go. Truth and Reconciliation, American Style. Our president is a God-fearing man. Ain't we lucky? Because he can ask God forgiveness. He can sin. He can lie. He can sentence our children to die. Ain't we lucky? When Katrina's winds blew, the bloated bodies floated. While George Bush doted on his oil-baron friends, he's a God-fearing man. Ain't we lucky? No prayers today, Mr. Bush. Just face us. Speak to us of truth we know, so we can have justice.
Wow. Very nice.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't think
Those are great.
That's it for the Twyla stuff. If anybody wants to talk now, then I'm going to show a half an hour movie that we both loved all our life. For those who want to hang on for that, but that's the end of Twyla's presentation. There's lots more pictures, like I said, and videos. But I hope you all participate in the memorial for Twyla. Mary Thomas?
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's so exciting to see you here.
How are you, Bill?
Mary, did you know those poems were written by Twyla during your run with her in Palestine?
Say again?
She wrote those poems about working for your group.
Yes, yes, Bill, and she also wrote beautiful articles that went to print. One of her pieces was printed in a Washington, D.C. magazine whose name escapes me right now. And I want to tell, I have so many stories of Twyla, I don't even know where to begin. But one that I want to tell is when I was living in London, I met a group of anarchists who worked with Twyla in Nobilis. And we had a rule in Michigan Peace Team that you must always be with another peace team member. And of course, Twyla obeyed that when it was felt right. But when she wanted to do, when she felt being called elsewhere, Twyla would do it. And I didn't know this, but she worked the checkpoints to stop the in Nablus, to stop the soldiers from beating and harassing and humiliating the Palestinians. And I was told some stories that Twyla never shared with me, never shared with Michigan Peace Team, about the life-threatening actions that her group did to protect these vulnerable, proud people. And I called her that night. I think I woke her up. I was in London and I called you guys in Hamtramck, and I confronted her at first. And she said, Mary, sometimes it's best that you don't know everything. I wanted to tell you that if there is a God, which Twyla didn't believe in, but if there is a God, she is up there right now giving him the business. Telling him, telling her, telling it the errors of their way. I love you, Bill, and I will miss Twyla for the rest of my life.
Thank you, Mary. You wrote me a nice letter too. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
I love you, Bill.
I love you too. And we've been, I don't know when you got on, I didn't pay attention, I'm sorry, but so many people came and stayed longer than I expected people would stay, and I really appreciate it. I mean, that you put this time away to talk about Twyla and share her life in a film night, which was not a formally organized event at all. This was like rushed together here so I could just share some of her
You
stuff.
did a beautiful job, Bill. She would have been proud, and she would have been cackling at some of the pictures and some of the memories.
No, I know what she would have been doing. She would not let me do it. That's what it was. I don't do this. I do not need this. And she was somehow, I don't know what you call that, but she did not want attention drawn to her. And
but also, Bill, excuse me for interrupting you, she didn't want to be underestimated either.
No. For sure.
Twyla was a forceful presence whose ego she was quite easy to keep down, but if it was something wrong was going on or she felt something needed to be said, Twyla would say it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's no doubt about that for sure. This is about her being a nanny. Our boys, our two grandsons called her nanny. That was, we never knew what we wanted. It's always tough when you have grandkids what you want them to call you. And so I went for the Papa thing. I like the old Italian and European films, and then these old kids would call their grandpa Papa. I thought that was a nice name, so they always called me Papa. And so Nani was also Italian, I think, at the time. It was sort of like a common name. So she was always called Nani. So this is a poem she wrote. I never read it till yesterday. Robbie, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. And then being Nani, I wanted to be grandma, wanted to be old, to have lived so long to age gracefully. When I was 6, I was jealous of old people, of my Grandma Sauer's face. She was a box of history. She had made it past potato crop failure, ditches, and orchards. Grandma Sauer was nice. French vanilla ice cream and strawberries picked up for lunch. My grandma's house was always out our home, where the chairs were solid mahogany, straight back, easy to pull up to, the round table between other straight back chairs. Out home, out home, where Grandma Sauer's arthritic fingers. I didn't know her grandma had arthritis.
Oh yeah.
Arthritic fingers played piano from a hymnal, a coal furnace, a million stories from that basement. Down the street, down the road, past the orchard, past the open field, my great Aunt Jenny, who wore a cameo all the time. Very old, wore her jet black hair pulled back. Mysterious, she spoke to me in whispers. Heavy wool skirts, leather boots. Now I'm old. I have lived so long, I have aged gracefully past ditches and orchards, a face much like hers. I'm Nani, grandmother, being not Grandma Sour, being not Aunt Jenny, but being myself, Nani. My grandboys come to my home in the city with a lawn as green as Grandma Sour's, but no field beyond it. I drink my coffee black and fast, never saucered and blowed. There is chaos here, but the conditions of acceptance are the same. I know what life does. I teach them to break the rules, but not the ones they shouldn't. She had tremendous influence on her grandsons, of course. I would assume most grandparents do. But you never know sometimes how much influence someone has on another person because they don't say it all the time. Like among friends even, you don't always stop and say, if it wasn't for you, like I've learned from this tragic series of events here, I've got friends I've known for a long time with Twyla. I've learned more about them, Kay and Pat, people that we got to talk deeper, even Robbie and some of the friends that we've been talking to lately. I learned more about them, and I understand Twyla's love of those people too more now. I understand it more. And that's, I think, what life can be, is the more you learn about other people, their real inner being, the common concerns we all have for being healthy and safe and have a happy life and no violence and stuff like that. The more you learn about other people's needs that are similar to yours, and their conditions, whether they look different, act different, have, from another country, speak another language, or all of a sudden you realize, and it's a lot easier now with translation programs and all that. Whoa, they said that, and that's their slang. Well, you can learn more about other people now who don't speak English, so that gives you another chance to learn about other people. And the more you learn about each other, the more you can like that person, and the less you want to hurt that person and hate those people from that country that did that or whatever, And Twyla and I both have grown up that way. That's what our marriage has always been. I think that's why we loved each other so much, because we knew how important love was. It's just that we couldn't always show it, and people don't always show it enough. And it's sort of trite to say, you should tell people you love them and all this. Yeah, well, that sounds simple and all that, but it is important. And the more you love someone, the better the world gets for everybody else. Because as soon as you can live with yourself, and you can live with your family, and you can live in your city, and you fix those problems, and you go live in your state and country, then pretty soon the whole world starts getting better, and we start doing things for everybody. And life gets better for everyone. But it starts with ourselves. So I've learned a lesson from this. I mean, I've lost loved ones in my life. You all have. But this one was the loss of someone who I loved the most in my entire life. I never loved anybody like this, and no one meant more to me. And it's very hard to lose that person. I'm going to try to get out of this rut that I'm in and just get back to trying to talk normal. But I appreciate you all for being friends and listening to me through this terrible ordeal.
Bill, Pat and I were talking last night, and Pat and I were sharing an experience. The last words that Twyla and I shared between each other, the very last words were, "I love you." I said, "I love you" to her. She said, "I love you" to me. And Pat said the same thing. She said those were our last words too.
She said it back to you? You mean before she got sick?
Yeah.
Really?
The day, that Sunday and Monday on the phone.
Oh, on the phone, yes. Okay, so I know what you said. I heard that.
I talked to her before I went on that vacation.
When?
Yeah, I keep freezing.
Yeah, I'm
It was
sorry.
before she got sick. It was the last time we talked because I went on vacation.
Oh, yes. Okay, I got it now. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad
That's
to
all
hear that.
right.
Well, I don't know if she heard me say that. I know the last thing I said to her was uh, after I got them to fix the monitor and come in and stop the noise that it was making because they weren't even listening to the noise, and they found out she wasn't hooked up to the monitor. So once they taped her finger to the monitor, the sound went off, and they left the room. And I said to Twyla, "Well, at least I got something done while I was here." And she laughed like she always does back to me. Yeah, and that was it. That's the last thing I heard Twyla say. I never got to say I love her. Well, she did hear me the night before. I told her many times when she was laying in the gurney in the hall at the emergency room. But she went too quick. I mean, that's what happens when people are in car accidents, other kind of fatalities like that. You can only feel how tragic. There's no good way to die. I mean, let's face it. You want a year of someone to be dying, so you can talk to them for a year. They're going to eventually die, and then it's been a year of hell. So I mean, this has been like 2 months of hell, and I mean, even if you die peacefully in your sleep, you didn't get to say goodbye to that person. You didn't. You still have problems with that. Even I don't know the best way to go. I wish I could have talked to Twyla more before I knew this was going to end. But she's gone, and I mean, we just didn't say it. And that's the way it goes. Everybody goes.
Bill.
Laura, yeah, I'm going to unmute
Bill.
yourself if you want to talk.
Hey, Bill.
Miguel,
Yes.
Yeah, I
Miguel.
think my mom has something to say.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
surely.
just make an impromptu kind of, I don't know if it's a poem, but anyway, yes, Twyla is gone from your heart, gone from this earth, but she still roams. And when you get that feeling that she's on the roam, talk to her, Bill. She will hear you. Don't think it. Speak out loud to Twyla, and you will find a solace there that no one can share with you but you and Twyla. This is my comment for you today. May you be loved forever by all of us that love you so much. We share in your loss. Thank you for letting me speak.
Shirley, I love you too, and thank you so much for your feelings and your comments. Thank you.
I want to
Alice.
say something. You know, action speaks louder than words. It's an action. Love is an action. And that's what you did. You were more concerned about the things that really help versus, you know, just mousing the word. The action was the word.
Yes.
Thank you. You're right. I don't think Twyla ever questioned that I loved her a lot, but I heard from people that she loved me more than I really thought she did. I mean, she was my fan. I think people told me she was my fan. She loved everything I did. I mean, she never told me that. She never. I mean, we just lived together, and there was no other question about it. We loved each other. It's like that little short thing from Fiddler on the Roof that we did. I don't have to tell you every day. Of course I love you because I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you. I'm staying with you. I've turned this down. All the little things we do to each other prove that we love each other, in addition to saying the words itself. And you're right, it's actions that make the difference.
Alice always gets it.
Thank you, Alice. Well, we're going to finish this part of the evening. And if you want to hang on to watch a short 30-minute documentary, which Twyla and I both, and many film critics and many people in the world consider the greatest short film ever made, J'étais by Chris Marker. Twyla, this is a long history Twyla and I have since the movie came out.